Hello guys, how are you all? Welcome back to my channel. So, today we are gonna see, what if Naruto signed Phoenix summoning contract during wave mission? Subscribe if you enjoy the video, and also check the description, so let's begin the story. The morning sun blazed over Konoha, painting the Hokage monument in gold as Team 7 stood before the third Hokage's desk. Dust motes danced in the shafts of light streaming through the windows, highlighting the eager expression on Naruto Uzumaki's face. Enough with these stupid D-rank missions, old man. Naruto's voice filled the mission assignment room like an explosion. I'm a real ninja now. I want a real mission, something exciting, something challenging, not chasing some fat lady's cat or pulling weeds. Iruka, seated beside the Hokage, slammed his palms on the desk. Show some respect, Naruto. You're just a rookie genin. Everyone starts with simple duties to develop their skills. The Hokage puffed on his pipe, releasing a swirl of fragrant smoke. Naruto may have a point, Iruka. Kakashi Hatake sighed, his one visible eye conveying resigned amusement. His silver hair caught the light as he placed a gloved hand on Naruto's shoulder, the touch both restraining and reassuring. Lord Hokage, I believe my team is ready for more challenging work. Sasuke Uchiha stood with arms crossed, dark eyes fixed on the floor, seemingly bored but listening to every word. Sakura Haruno fidgeted beside him, her pink hair swaying as she glanced between the Hokage and her crush. Very well, the third Hokage said with a knowing smile. I happen to have a C-rank mission available. Escort duty. The office door slid open with a wooden clatter, revealing an older man clutching a bottle of sake. The scent of alcohol wafted across the room, mixing with the Hokage's pipe tobacco. This is your client, the Hokage announced. Tazuna, a master bridge builder from the land of waves. Tazuna leaned against the doorframe, his weathered face flushed from drinking. His eyes, though bloodshot, darted quickly between the ninja, assessing them with surprising sharpness. These are my bodyguards? Tazuna scoffed, taking another swig from his bottle. They're just a bunch of brats. Especially that short one with the stupid face. He doesn't even look like a ninja. Naruto laughed, looking around for the short one before realization struck him like a thunderbolt. I'll demolish you! He shouted, lunging forward only to be caught by Kakashi's firm grip on his collar. You can't demolish the client, Naruto, Kakashi drawled. It's bad for business. The village gates loomed overhead, massive wooden structures marked with the leaf symbol. Beyond them stretched the road that would take Team 7 to the land of waves. Naruto bounded forward, energy crackling around him like electricity. Yeah. First time outside the village. I'm a traveler now, believe it. He spun around, drinking in the sight of endless forests stretching before them. Sakura rolled her eyes, but a smile tugged at her lips. It's just a C-rank mission, Naruto. Act professional. The dobe's never been professional a day in his life, Sasuke muttered, though his eyes scanned the path ahead with focused intensity. Tazuna adjusted his large backpack, sweat beading on his brow despite the pleasant temperature. His fingers drummed against his thigh in an anxious rhythm. Something the matter, Mr. Tazuna? Kakashi asked, his tone casual but his gaze sharp. And no, nothing, Tazuna stammered, too quickly. Let's just get moving. They walked for hours, the dirt path crunching beneath their sandals. Birds called overhead, and sunlight dappled the ground through breaks in the foliage. It was peaceful, too peaceful for Naruto's liking. Hey Tazuna, Naruto called out, breaking the silence. Your country doesn't have ninja, right? No, Tazuna replied, his tone softening slightly. The land of waves is small and isolated. We have no need for military power like the 5 great nations. He paused, something dark crossing his expression. At least, we didn't used to. Kakashi's eye narrowed at this slip, but before he could question further, something caught his attention, a small puddle on the path, though it hadn't rained in days. The Jonin's pace never changed, but his mind raced through possibilities and countermeasures. He met Sasuke's glance briefly, noting that the Uchiha had spotted it too. They walked past the puddle, the only sound their footsteps and Naruto's excited chatter about ramen variants he hoped to try in the land of waves. The attack came without warning. Spiked chains erupted from the puddle, wrapping around Kakashi before anyone could react. With a savage jerk, the chains tightened. One down, a raspy voice announced. Blood and shredded fabric exploded outward as Kakashi was seemingly torn apart. Sakura's scream pierced the air, her face drained of color. Kakashi-sensei. Naruto stood frozen, blue eyes wide with horror. 2 figures blurred toward him, metal gauntlets gleaming, chains rattling between them. The demon brothers moved like mercury, fluid and deadly. 2 down, 1 hissed, closing in on Naruto. Sasuke reacted instantly. He leapt skyward, hurling a shuriken that pinned the chain to a tree. A kunai followed, securing it firmly. Then he landed on their gauntlets, kicking both attackers in the face simultaneously. The chain snapped as the brothers separated, one charging toward Tazuna, the other pivoting back toward Naruto. Sakura planted herself before Tazuna, kunai raised. "Stay behind me." The attacker rushed forward, only to be stopped as Sasuke appeared before him in a blur of movement. Meanwhile, Naruto remained rooted to the spot as the other assassin closed in, poison claws outstretched. His mind screamed at him to move, but his body refused to obey. "Naruto, move!" Sasuke shouted. The gauntlet slashed forward, and stopped inches from Naruto's face. The attacker, suddenly immobilized by Kakashi's arm locked around his throat. Kakashi stood there, very much alive, holding both demon brothers in a vice grip. "Sorry for not helping right away, Naruto," he said calmly. "I didn't think you'd freeze up like that." Naruto's gaze darted to where Kakashi had supposedly died, seeing only splintered wood. "Substitution jutsu," his mind supplied. "Good job, Sasuke," Kakashi continued. "You too, Sakura." Shame burned through Naruto like acid. While the others had acted, he had stood paralyzed by fear. Even now, a small cut on his hand from the attacker's gauntlet throbbed with embarrassment. "You're wounded, Naruto," Kakashi observed, his eye settling on the cut. "Their claws were poisoned. We need to bleed out the toxin quickly." Before Kakashi could act, Naruto yanked a kunai from his pouch and stabbed it into his own hand. Blood spurted from the wound as everyone stared in shock. "I won't freeze up again," Naruto declared, voice raw with emotion. "I swear on this pain, I'll protect the old man. We're continuing the mission." Blood dripped onto the dirt path, punctuating his oath. Kakashi's eye crinkled in what might have been pride, or concern. "Very dramatic, Naruto," he said dryly. "But you could bleed to death at this rate." As Kakashi bandaged the self-inflicted wound, he turned to Tazuna, his voice losing all warmth. "We need to talk." These were Chunin-level ninja from the Hidden Mist. "This mission is at least B rank, possibly higher." Tazuna's shoulders sagged under an invisible weight. I couldn't afford a B rank mission. My country is poor, strangled by a man named Gato." "The shipping magnate?" Kakashi asked, surprise evident in his tone. "The same," Tazuna nodded grimly. "He's bled our country dry, controlling all shipping with violence and corruption. The bridge I'm building is our only hope, a connection to the mainland that will break his chokehold." His eyes, no longer clouded by alcohol, burned with desperate conviction. "That's why he wants me dead. That's why I lied. I understand if you want to turn back. My grandson will cry a few days. My daughter will condemn the Leaf Ninja as she lives her life alone. But it's not your concern." Silence fell over the group. "Well," Kakashi sighed, "I guess we have no choice." They reached the shore as dusk painted the sky in watercolor smears of orange and purple. Mist crept over the water surface, transforming the strait between the mainland and the land of waves into something ethereal and otherworldly. A boatman waited for them, his face partially obscured by a wide hat. "Quickly," he whispered, "and silence from here on." The small boat cut through the fog, oars dipping silently into the dark water. No one spoke. Even Naruto, usually incapable of quiet, sensed the gravity of their situation. Eventually, a massive shadow materialized through the mist. The unfinished bridge spanning between mainland and island. "Whoa," Naruto breathed, forgetting the instruction for silence. "It's huge. Shut up," the boatman hissed frantically. "We're traveling under cover of mist to avoid detection. Gato has spies everywhere." Naruto clamped his hands over his mouth, eyes wide in apology. The mist thickened as they approached the island, swallowing them in its cold embrace. Trees emerged from the gloom like sentinels, their gnarled roots dipping into brackish water. "This is as far as I go," the boatman said as they reached a small, dilapidated dock. "Be careful, Tazuna." Tazuna nodded grimly. "Thank you for taking such a risk." The boat disappeared back into the mist, leaving Team 7 and their client alone in what felt like another world. The air hung heavy with moisture, dulling sounds and limiting visibility to mere yards. "We should reach my house by nightfall," Tazuna said, voice hushed. "If we're lucky." Naruto's hand drifted to his kunai pouch, his earlier bravado replaced by wary alertness. Despite his fear during the last attack, something had shifted within him. He wouldn't freeze again, he'd made that promise in blood. The forest grew darker as twilight deepened. They walked in formation, Kakashi taking point, Sasuke and Naruto flanking Tazuna, with Sakura covering the rear. Every snapping twig or rustling leaf set them on edge. "We should make camp soon," Kakashi announced, scanning the increasingly dark woods. "There's a clearing ahead that should serve our purpose." As they set up camp, Naruto felt a strange warmth in his chest, like an ember had taken root inside him. At first, he dismissed it as heartburn from the travel rations, but it persisted, growing stronger. "I'm gonna check the perimeter," he announced abruptly, earning a suspicious glance from Sasuke. "Don't go far," Kakashi warned. "And be quiet." Naruto nodded, slipping into the misty woods. The warmth intensified with each step, pulling him forward like an invisible thread. 20 yards from camp, he heard it, a soft, pitiful cry unlike any animal he'd encountered before. Naruto pushed aside a curtain of ferns and froze. In a small hollow lay a bird unlike any he'd ever seen. About the size of a hawk, it had feathers that shimmered between scarlet and gold, as if they contained actual flames. One wing was bent at an unnatural angle, and dark liquid, too thick to be blood, oozed from a wound on its side. As Naruto approached, the bird's head snapped up, eyes like liquid amber fixing on him with unmistakable intelligence. "Hey there," Naruto whispered, crouching slowly. "You're hurt pretty bad, huh?" The bird watched him warily but made no move to escape. Naruto reached out, hesitating just above the brilliant plumage. "I'm not gonna hurt you," he promised. "I want to help." Something in his voice must have conveyed his sincerity, because the bird relaxed slightly, allowing Naruto's fingers to brush its feathers. Heat rushed through Naruto's hand, not burning, but powerfully warm, like dipping into sun-heated water. The bird's feathers felt like silk over steel, smooth yet vibrant with hidden strength. "What are you?" Naruto murmured, mesmerized by the creature. Drawing on first aid lessons from the academy, Naruto carefully examined the wing. "Looks broken," he muttered. "And that stuff leaking out, poison maybe?" The bird chirped weakly in what seemed like confirmation. Naruto rummaged through his pack, producing bandages and a small vial of medicinal salve Irika-sensei had insisted he carry. "I'm not great at this," he admitted to the bird, "but I'll do my best." As he worked, cleaning the wound and binding the wing, his hands occasionally glowed with unfocused chakra, a result of his excitement and concentration. Each time this happened, the bird's eyes widened, and its feathers briefly brightened. Finally, Naruto sat back on his heels, surveying his handiwork. The bandage was clumsy but secure, and the oozing had stopped. "Not bad for my first bird patient," he grinned, reached into his pocket. "You hungry?" He offered a piece of dried meat from his rations. The bird eyed it cautiously before accepting it with surprising gentleness. "I'm Naruto Uzumaki," he said, settling cross-legged beside the injured creature. "Future Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village." The bird tilted its head, regarding him with those unsettlingly intelligent eyes. "Everyone back at the village thinks I'm just a troublemaker," Naruto continued, surprising himself with his candidness. "But I'll show them. I'll become the strongest ninja ever, and then they'll have to acknowledge me." As night deepened around them, Naruto kept talking, sharing dreams and frustrations he rarely voiced. The bird listened, occasionally trilling soft notes that somehow felt like responses. Then, as darkness fully enveloped the forest, something extraordinary happened. The bird began to glow, softly at first, then with increasing brilliance, bathing the small clearing in golden light. "Whoa!" Naruto scrambled backward, blue eyes wide with astonishment. "You have a kind heart, Naruto Uzumaki," a voice spoke directly into his mind, melodic and ageless. Naruto fell backward in shock. You can talk?" In a manner of speaking, the bird replied, the glow pulsing with each word. "My name is Hiryu, a phoenix of the Minor Flame clan." "A phoenix?" Naruto whispered, all replacing shock. "Like a mythical bird of fire? We are quite real, though we remain hidden from humans. I was separated from my clan during our migration when hunters attacked us. They prize our feathers for their magical properties." Hiryu's mental voice carried notes of pain and bitterness. "That's awful," Naruto said, anger flaring on behalf of his new friend. "I won't let anyone hurt you again. I promise." Hiryu's glow intensified momentarily, warmth radiating outward. "Such fierce loyalty for one you've just met. Remarkable." The phoenix studied Naruto intently. "You carry a strange duality within you, Naruto Uzumaki. Your chakra is both your own and something else. Something ancient and powerful." Naruto stiffened, his hand unconsciously moving to his stomach where the nine-tailed seal lay hidden. "I don't know what you mean," he said quickly. Hiryu made a sound like chiming bells, a phoenix laugh. "We need not speak of it now. But know this, phoenixes are creatures of rebirth and renewal. We understand what it means to contain both light and darkness." Something in those words resonated deeply within Naruto, touching a loneliness he rarely acknowledged. "I should get back to camp," he said reluctantly. "My team will wonder where I am." "Take me with you," Hiryu requested. I am too vulnerable alone, and my clan is still far from here. Naruto hesitated only briefly before nodding. You can hide in my jacket. Just try not to glow too much, okay? Gently, he scooped up the phoenix, marveling at how light yet warm the bird felt. Hiryu nestled against his chest as Naruto zipped his orange jacket partially closed. Your heart beats strongly, Hiryu observed. Like a drum of war and hope intertwined. Thanks. I think? Naruto scratched the back of his head, unsure how to respond to such poetic observations. When Naruto returned to camp, the others had already rolled out sleeping mats around a small, carefully contained fire. Kakashi looked up from his familiar orange book, his visible eye narrowing slightly. Find anything interesting on your perimeter check? He asked mildly. Nope. Naruto replied, too quickly and too loudly. Everything's totally normal. Just trees and stuff. Sasuke snorted from his position near the fire. Subtle as always, though. Shut up, team, Naruto shot back automatically, carefully sitting down to avoid jostling Hiryu. Throughout the evening, he felt Sasuke's dark eyes tracking his movements, noting how Naruto kept one hand protectively over his jacket, how he declined to remove it despite the fire's warmth. But the Uchiha said nothing, merely observing with that calculating gaze that missed nothing. As the team settled for sleep, Kakashi taking first watch, Naruto lay on his side, curled protectively around the slight bulge in his jacket. He could feel Hiryu's heartbeat against his own, steady and warm. Sleep, Naruto Uzumaki, Hiryu's voice whispered in his mind. I will keep watch in my own way. Naruto's dreams that night were strange and vivid. He soared through skies of liquid flame, not burning but exhilarated, free in a way he had never experienced. Below him spread landscapes of incredible beauty. Mountains capped with crystal, forests of silver leaves, oceans that reflected not just the sky but all possible skies. And throughout the dream, a presence flew beside him, golden and eternal, guiding him through currents of fire with joyful abandon. When dawn broke, Naruto woke feeling more rested than he had in years, despite sleeping on hard ground. Hiryu remained nestled against his chest, a comforting weight and warmth. The team broke camp quickly, eager to reach Tazuna's house before encountering any more of Gato's assassins. The morning mist hung thick around them, turning the forest into a labyrinth of ghostly shapes and muffled sounds. Stay sharp, Kakashi advised as they moved out. The closer we get to Tazuna's home, the more dangerous our path becomes. They walked in tense silence, senses straining for any hint of threat. Naruto felt Hiryu's shift occasionally inside his jacket, the phoenix equally alert. Danger approaches, Hiryu's voice suddenly whispered in Naruto's mind, urgent and clear. Before Naruto could warn the others, a sound cut through the mist, the distinctive whir of something large spinning through the air at tremendous speed. Get down! Kakashi shouted. Naruto tackled Tazuna to the ground as a massive sword, curved and cruel, sliced through the space where their heads had been moments before. The blade embedded itself in a tree trunk with a solid thunk, quivering from the force of the throw. As they looked up, a figure appeared atop the sword's handle, a tall, muscular man with bandages covering the lower half of his face. His bare chest was partially wrapped in the same bandages, and his eyes held nothing but cold, calculated bloodlust. Well, the newcomer's voice rumbled like distant thunder. If it isn't Kakashi of the Sharingan. Naruto felt Hiryu press closer against his chest as the phoenix trembled with what might have been fear or anticipation. Within his belly, another presence stirred uneasily, sensing the killing intent saturating the air. The man on the sword smiled beneath his bandages, the expression reaching his eyes with chilling effect. I am Zabuza Momochi, demon of the hidden mist, he announced. And I've come to collect the bridge builder's head. Zabuza Momochi towered above them, a colossus of muscle and malice balanced on the hilt of his enormous sword. Mist curled around his bandaged face like living smoke, giving him the appearance of a demon materializing from another realm. His sleeveless black top revealed arms corded with strength honed through countless battles and innumerable kills. Kakashi of the Sharingan, Zabuza's voice rasped through his bandages. The man said to have copied over 1,000 jutsu. His dark eyes narrowed with something like twisted delight. I'm honored. Kakashi stepped forward, his posture still deceptively casual. You know me. I'm flattered. His right hand drifted upward toward his slanted headband. But flattery won't save your life today. Everyone stay back, Kakashi ordered, not taking his eye off Zabuza. This one's on a different level. In a fluid motion, he lifted his headband, revealing his left eye, scarred and red, with 3 black tomos swimming around the pupil. The Sharingan, legendary dojutsu of the Uchiha clan, stared out from the face of an non-Uchiha. Sasuke's breath caught audibly. His hands trembled, not with fear, but with a cocktail of confusion, anger, and bitter recognition. That I, he whispered. How, so I get to see the famous I right from the start? Zabuza chuckled, the sound like stones grinding together. I'm truly special. With a casual flick of his wrist, Zabuza dislodged his massive sword from the tree, catching it one-handed as if it weighed nothing. In the assassination unit of Hidden Mist, we had a standing order. Your page in our bingo book said flee on sight. He swung the sword to rest on his shoulder. But that's not my style. Naruto's heart hammered against his ribs, pounding against Hiryu's small body. The phoenix pressed closer in silent comfort. His killing intent is overwhelming, Hiryu whispered in Naruto's mind. Be ready. The air shifted subtly, growing heavier, charged with danger. Zabuza's free hand formed a seal, and the mist around them thickened impossibly fast. Ninja art, hidden mist jutsu, Zabuza intoned. His form blurred, then vanished completely into the supernatural fog that now enveloped them. He's gone! Sakura gasped. Her knuckles white around her kunai. Form the Manji formation. Protect Tazuna. Kakashi barked. The genin instantly moved, surrounding the bridge builder in a triangular defensive position. Backs to their client, faces to the unknown. Kakashi's voice cut through the mist, steady and instructional despite the danger. Zabuza Momochi, ex-leader of the Hidden Mist Assassination Unit, master of the silent killing technique. He strikes without sound, without warning. You'll be dead before you realize it. Shiri, Naruto muttered, trying to mask his fear with bravado. The mist thickened further, becoming so dense that even Kakashi began to disappear from view merely feet away. 8 points, Zabuza's disembodied voice echoed from everywhere and nowhere. Larynx, spine, lungs, liver, jugular, subclavian artery, kidneys, heart. A pause heavy with promise. Which vital organ do you want struck first? A wave of pure killing intent washed over them, so powerful it manifested as physical pressure. Naruto felt his breath catch, his muscles lock. This wasn't just fear, it was the certainty of death, the paralysis of prey before a predator. His mind filled with vivid images of his own brutal end, each more graphic than the last. Breathe, Naruto, Hiryu urged. This is merely intent, not reality. Beside him, Sasuke trembled violently, raising his kunai incrementally toward his own throat, eyes wide with terror. Sasuke! Kakashi's voice sliced through the haze of fear. Don't worry. I'll protect you all with my life. He turned, his Sharingan eye gleaming through the mist, curved in what might have been a smile. I don't let my comrades die. How touching! Zabuza's voice materialized directly between them. But it's over. He appeared in the center of their formation, sword already swinging in a horizontal arc that would cleave Tazuna in half. Sakura screamed. Naruto froze. Sasuke's eyes widened in disbelief. Then Kakashi was there, driving a kunai into Zabuza's abdomen, only for Zabuza to dissolve into water that splashed to the ground. Sensei, behind you! Naruto shouted. Zabuza's real body materialized behind Kakashi, sword already completing its deadly swing. The blade passed through Kakashi's torso, which also dissolved into water. The water clone jutsu, Zabuza growled, genuine surprise in his voice. He copied it even in this mist. Cold steel pressed against Zabuza's throat as Kakashi appeared behind him. Don't move, Kakashi warned. Now it's over. But Zabuza laughed, the sound chilling in its confidence. You don't get it. You can't beat me with mere imitations. His body liquefied, another water clone, as the real Zabuza appeared behind Kakashi. Kakashi ducked the sword swing, but Zabuza's follow-through transitioned into a kick that sent Kakashi flying toward the nearby lake. Zabuza pursued with frightening speed, water splashing as they engaged in a blur of attacks too fast for genin eyes to follow. Kakashi surfaced in the lake, momentarily vulnerable, his usually light frame strangely weighed down. This water, he realized too late. It's dense, heavy with chakra. Zabuza appeared behind him, hands flashing through seals. Fool. Water prison jutsu. Water rose up, encasing Kakashi in a perfect sphere. Zabuza stood with one arm thrust into the prison, maintaining the jutsu, his laughter carrying across the clearing. This prison is inescapable, he gloated. We can finish our fight later, Kakashi. First, I'll eliminate your little brats. With his free hand, he formed a one-handed seal, water clone jutsu. A humanoid figure rose from the lake's surface, taking Zabuza's shape. The clone stalked toward the shore where the genin stood frozen, its killing intent no less potent than the originals. Wearing those headbands, playing at being ninja, clone Zabuza sneered. Real ninja hover between life and death constantly. When you've become so dangerous you're listed in my bingo book, then you can call yourself ninja. He vanished, reappearing before Naruto. A brutal kick sent the boy flying, his headband torn from his forehead and trampled under Zabuza's foot. "Naruto!" Sakura cried out. Naruto crashed to the ground, the impact driving the air from his lungs. He felt Hiryu's shift inside his jacket, the phoenix somehow unhurt but agitated. "He could have killed you with that kick," Hiryu observed. "He's toying with you all." From the water prison, Kakashi shouted, "Take Tazuna and run!" His water clone can't go far from his real body. He has to maintain the water prison with his hand. "Get away now!" Naruto struggled to his feet, tasting blood. His eyes fixed on his headband beneath Zabuza's foot, the symbol of everything he'd worked for, everything he'd dreamed of becoming. Sasuke glanced between Kakashi and the path behind them, calculation warring with loyalty in his eyes. "We can't leave you," he finally said, though whether to Kakashi or himself wasn't clear. Naruto, still on his knees, felt something shift inside him. Not the nine tails stirring, but something else, his own resolve crystallizing. His hand moved to his jacket pocket where Hiryu pressed warmly against him. "We're not running," Naruto declared, voice low and steady. He pushed to his feet, wiping blood from his chin. "That's not our ninja way." He launched himself at Zabuza's clone in a reckless frontal assault. The clone swatted him away contemptuously. But when Naruto rolled to a stop, he was clutching his recovered headband, a fierce grin on his face despite the fresh bruises. Tying the headband back in place, Naruto locked eyes with Sasuke. Something passed between them, unspoken but understood. Rivals they might be, but in this moment, they were comrades with a shared purpose. "Listen up, eyebrowless freak," Naruto called, pointing at Zabuza. "Put this in your bingo book, the ninja who'll become Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village." He adjusted his headband, eyes blazing with determination. "Naruto Uzumaki." Beside him, Sasuke dropped into a fighting stance. "Teamwork, dope," he muttered, a reluctant half-smile on his lips. "I've got a plan, team," Naruto whispered back. Sasuke's eyebrows rose fractionally, the Uchiha equivalent of shocked disbelief. "You? A plan?" "Shadow clone jutsu." Naruto's hands formed the cross seal, and a dozen orange-clad clones popped into existence, surrounding the water clone Zabuza. They charged en masse, dogpiling the enemy with sheer numbers. For a moment, they seemed to have the upper hand, until Zabuza's clone spun, swinging his massive sword in a complete circle that dispelled every clone in a cloud of smoke. The real Naruto skidded across the ground, reaching into his backpack. "Sasuke!" he shouted, tossing a large folded shuriken. "Catch!" Sasuke plucked it from the air, instantly understanding. He unfurled the Demon Wind Shuriken, a massive four-bladed weapon half his height. Demon Wind Shuriken, windmill of shadows. He leapt, launching the shuriken not at the clone, but past it, straight at the real Zabuza maintaining the water prison. Zabuza caught the shuriken one-handed, his expression unimpressed, until he noticed the second shuriken hidden in the shadow of the first. "A shadow shuriken technique," he murmured, impressed despite himself. He jumped, the second shuriken passing harmlessly beneath him. But not good enough. Behind him, the second shuriken transformed with a puff of smoke into Naruto, the real one, having disguised himself as a weapon after being substituted for Sasuke's own shuriken. In midair, Naruto hurled a kunai directly at Zabuza's arm maintaining the water prison. With no way to dodge, Zabuza had no choice. He withdrew his arm from the prison, freeing Kakashi but suffering a shallow cut across his cheek from the kunai. Rage contorted his bandaged face. "You little brat!" He spun the first shuriken, preparing to hurl it at Naruto still suspended above the water. Kakashi blocked it with the metal plate on his glove, water streaming from his silver hair, mismatched eyes blazing with renewed purpose. "Good job, Naruto." "Sasuke," he said, never taking his eyes off Zabuza. "Now it's my turn." What followed was a battle beyond anything the genin had witnessed. Kakashi and Zabuza flew through identical hand seals at impossible speeds, their chakra palpable in the air. Twin water dragons rose from the lake, crashing against each other in a spectacular display of power. "He's not just copying his movements," Sakura gasped, watching the mirrored battle. "It's like he knows what Zabuza will do next," Sasuke finished, his own Sharingan heritage giving him unique insight into what they were witnessing. Naruto treaded water, having fallen into the lake after his airborne kunai throw. Inside his jacket, Hiryu stirred with growing agitation. "Something's wrong," the Phoenix warned. "Your teacher is winning, but I sense another presence watching." Before Naruto could respond, a massive vortex of water slammed into Zabuza, sending him crashing into a tree. Kakashi appeared above him, kunai ready for the killing blow. "Can you see the future?" Zabuza gasped, blood trickling from beneath his bandages. Yes, Kakashi replied coldly. Your future is death. Before he could strike, 2 Saban needles whistled through the air, embedding themselves in Zabuza's neck with surgical precision. The massive ninja jerked, then went still. A figure appeared on a nearby branch, slender, wearing a white mask decorated with the hidden mist symbol, long dark hair cascading down their back. You were right, the masked ninja said, voice soft and androgynous. His future was death. Naruto struggled to shore, water streaming from his orange jumpsuit. Who the hell are you? He demanded. A hunter nin from the hidden mist, the figure replied. I've been tracking Zabuza for weeks. Thank you for creating the opportunity to take him down. Kakashi checked Zabuza's pulse, then nodded grimly. No vital signs. The masked ninja bowed slightly. I must dispose of the body. It contains many secrets. In a swirl of wind, they lifted Zabuza's massive form as if it weighed nothing and vanished. Kakashi pulled his headband back down over his Sharingan eye and turned to his team. Well done, everyone. He took one step forward, then another, before his visible eye widened slightly. Oh dear, he mumbled, before crumpling to the ground. Kakashi-sensei. Sakura rushed to his side. Chakra, exhaustion, Kakashi managed before losing consciousness entirely. Tazuna's house sat on stilts over the water, accessible by a wooden walkway. Simple but sturdy, it reflected the practical nature of the Wave Country's people. Inside, Team 7 gathered around their sensei, who lay on a futon in a small guest room. Will he be okay? Tsunami, Tazuna's daughter, asked as she placed a cool cloth on Kakashi's forehead. Her gentle features were pinched with concern. He'll be fine, Sakura assured her, though her voice betrayed uncertainty. He just used too much chakra. Kakashi stirred, his one visible eye opening blearily. Not just chakra exhaustion, he murmured. The Sharingan drains me more because I'm not an Uchiha. He struggled to sit up. Where's Zabuza's body? That hunter nin took it away, Sasuke replied, leaning against the wall, arms crossed. Kakashi's eye narrowed. Did you see the weapons the hunter used? The genin exchanged glances. Saban needles, Sakura provided. And do you remember where they struck? Comprehension dawned on Sasuke's face first. The neck. Precise points in the neck? Kakashi nodded grimly. Hunter nin are supposed to destroy bodies on the spot. And Saban needles. He let the implication hang. Can be used to induce a death-like state, Sasuke finished, his posture tensing. Wait, Naruto interrupted, blue eyes widening. You're saying, Zabuza is still alive, Kakashi confirmed. And that hunter nin is his accomplice. Silence fell over the room, heavy with implication. How long? Sasuke finally asked. Until they return? A week, maybe. The false death technique puts enormous strain on the body. Zabuza will need time to recover. Then so will you, Tsunami insisted, gently pushing Kakashi back onto the futon. You need rest. And the rest of you need training, Kakashi added, his eye curving into what might have been a smile. We have 1 week to get stronger. A small boy appeared in the doorway, watching them with suspicious eyes beneath the brim of a striped hat. His expression was a study in jaded disbelief. Inari, Tsunami called. Come say hello. These ninja helped your grandfather return safely. They're all going to die, the boy said flatly. No one can stand up to Gato. What did you say, brat? Naruto bristled, but Inari had already turned away, disappearing down the hallway. I apologize for my grandson, Tsunami said softly. Since his father died, he's lost faith in heroes. Naruto stared after the boy, an uncomfortably familiar pain reflected in those young, bitter eyes. Inside his jacket, Hiryu shifted, sensing Naruto's thoughts. The child carries a deep wound, the phoenix observed. Not unlike your own. Night fell over the land of waves, moonlight catching on the water surrounding Tazuna's house, transforming it into a mirror of fractured silver. While the others slept, Naruto crept from the house, Hiryu secure inside his jacket. Now? The phoenix asked, eager to stretch his wings after being confined all day. Not yet, Naruto whispered, making his way into the forest. We need to get farther from the house. The forest at night was a different world. Branches that had seemed ordinary in daylight now reached like grasping fingers. Shadows pulled like ink between roots, and every sound carried potential threat. Yet Naruto moved with surprising confidence, guided by Hiryu's subtle warmth against his chest. Finally, in a small clearing bathed in moonlight, Naruto unzipped his jacket. Hiryu emerged, stretching his wings carefully. In the moonlight, his feathers seemed to catch fire, glowing with internal light. How's your wing? Naruto asked, noticing the phoenix moved more easily than before. Healing well, Hiryu replied, hopping onto a fallen log. Your chakra has been aiding my recovery. My chakra? But I didn't, not consciously, no. But during the battle with Zabuza, your emotions ran high. Your chakra responded, and some flowed into me through our proximity. Hirya's head tilted. When you were knocked into the water, I returned a small portion to you. Did you not feel it? Naruto's brow furrowed as he remembered the strange rush of warm energy he'd felt underwater. Different from his normal chakra, and certainly different from the Ninetales' caustic power. That was you? It felt warm. Clean. He struggled to find the right words. Phoenix chakra has properties unlike human chakra. It resonates with emotion, particularly courage and determination, both of which you possess in abundance. Hirya's amber eyes gleamed. Naruto, I need your help. My clan is near, I can sense them, but in my condition, I cannot reach them alone. Your clan? There are more phoenixes here? Few, but yes. They maintain a hidden shrine in these islands, one of several sacred sites around the world. Hirya hopped closer. Will you help me reach them tonight? Of course. Naruto's face split into a grin. Lead the way. Hirya took flight, his movements still somewhat stilted but functional. He glowed gently, providing just enough light for Naruto to follow through the increasingly dense forest. They traveled for nearly an hour, moving deeper into parts of the island that felt untouched by human presence. The trees grew larger, more ancient, their trunks twisting in impossible formations. Mist clung to the ground, but unlike Zabuza's threatening fog, this mist felt natural, even welcoming. We're close, Hiryu announced, his mental voice thrumming with excitement. Can you feel it? And strangely, Naruto could. A warmth that had nothing to do with temperature and everything to do with presence, as if the forest itself was alive and aware, watching them with benevolent attention. They emerged into a glade dominated by a structure unlike anything Naruto had seen before. Not quite a building, not quite a natural formation, it appeared to be an ancient shrine carved directly from living trees that had grown together in a perfect circle. Stone steps, worn by centuries of weather, led up to an entrance framed by massive roots. Statues of phoenixes in various poses lined the approach, their features softened by time but still unmistakable. Whoa, Naruto breathed, his voice unconsciously dropping to a whisper. As they approached, firelight bloomed within the shrine, illuminating the entrance. Braziers that had appeared cold and empty moments before now contained dancing flames that cast no smoke. Come, Hiryu urged. They know we are here. The interior of the shrine defied the laws of space. Though modest from outside, within it stretched into a vast circular chamber, its ceiling lost in shadows above. The walls were inscribed with intricate symbols in a language Naruto didn't recognize, all illuminated by dozens of floating flames that hovered without apparent fuel or support. In the center of the chamber perched a phoenix 3 times Hiryu's size. Its plumage shifted between deep crimson and burnished gold, with hints of blue flame at the wingtips. Eyes like molten copper regarded them with ancient intelligence. Hiryu, wayward fledgling, the large phoenix's voice resonated directly in Naruto's mind, deeper and more powerful than Hiryu's. You return to us with a human child. The last words carried unmistakable surprise. Elder Enki, Hiryu bowed his head respectfully. This is Naruto Uzumaki of the Hidden Leaf Village. He saved me from death after the hunters wounded me. Enki's piercing gaze turned fully to Naruto, who fought the urge to squirm under the scrutiny. The phoenix seemed to be looking not just at him, but through him, into places even Naruto himself had never explored. A human child, helping a phoenix without seeking gain, Enki mused. Rare indeed in these bitter days. His wings spread slightly. Tell me, Naruto Uzumaki, why did you help Hiryu? Naruto scratched the back of his head, suddenly self-conscious. He was hurt. Anyone would have helped. No, Enki corrected gently. They would not. Humans have hunted our kind for centuries, seeking to harness our fire, our tears, our very feathers for their own power. Naruto's expression darkened. That's messed up. Hiryu isn't some tool to be used. He stopped, realizing how strange it was to have formed such a quick bond with the creature. He's what, young one? Enki prompted. He's my friend, Naruto finished simply. Something like approval flickered in Enki's ancient eyes. Do you know what we are, Naruto Uzumaki? Phoenixes, Naruto replied. Hiryu told me. Birds of fire and rebirth. More than that, Enki corrected. We are guardians of balance, keepers of the eternal flame. Once, long ago, we walked alongside humans as partners, as summons. Naruto's eyes widened. Like the toads of Mount Myaboku or the snakes of the White Snake Sage, you know of the great summons. Good. Enki settled more comfortably on his perch. Yes, phoenixes once had a contract with humans. We fought alongside them, healed them, guided them. Until the last summoner betrayed our trust. Enki gestured with one wing, and the floating flames coalesced, forming images in the air. A human figure wreathed in phoenix fire, using it to burn not enemies, but innocent villages. Consumed by grief and rage after losing his family, our last summoner used our power for vengeance and destruction. He burned indiscriminately until we severed the contract and withdrew from human affairs. The fiery images dissipated. That was centuries ago. Since then, no human has been deemed worthy of our bond. Hiryu hopped forward. Until now, perhaps? He suggested, glancing meaningfully at Naruto. Enki's head tilted, considering. Perhaps. The boy's heart seems pure, if chaotic. He fixed Naruto with that penetrating stare again. And there's the matter of what he carries within him. Naruto stiffened. What do you mean? We phoenixes sense chakra differently than humans do, Enki explained. Yours burns with two distinct flames, your own bright, determined spirit, and something ancient and terrible chained within. Naruto's hand unconsciously moved to his stomach. You can sense the nine tails? Is that what you call it? Interesting. Enki seemed unfazed. The great-tailed beasts and the phoenix clans are old acquaintances, though rarely friends. They represent raw power, often destructive. We represent renewal and balance. Naruto swallowed hard. Most people who discovered his status as a Jinchuriki reacted with fear or hatred. Enki's matter-of-fact acceptance was strange. I will test you, Naruto Uzumaki, Enki declared suddenly. To determine if you are worthy of rebuilding the bond between phoenixes and humans. Before Naruto could respond, flames erupted around him, not burning hot, but warm and encompassing, forming a cocoon of living fire. Within this fiery shell, Naruto felt strangely peaceful, as if floating in perfectly temperate water. The trial of intent, Enki's voice explained. Phoenix fire burns away falsehood and reveals truth. Your memories, your intentions, your very essence will be laid bare. The flames shifted, images forming within them. Naruto's earliest memories, his loneliness, the villagers' cold stares, his determination to prove himself, his dream of becoming Hokage. Every pivotal moment played out in fire. His graduation, forming Team 7, defending Iruka-sensei from Mizuki, his promise to help Hiryu. Naruto watched his life unfold around him, feeling strangely detached yet intimately connected to every scene. There was no hiding here, no masks, no false bravado, just the unvarnished truth of who he was. The flames delved deeper, illuminating the dark seal on his stomach, revealing the massive fox that slumbered within. For a moment, a single red eye opened within the flames, regarding the phoenixes with ancient malice before closing again. Finally, the fire receded, leaving Naruto standing in the center of the shrine, feeling oddly weightless, as if some burden had been temporarily lifted. Enki and several other phoenixes, who had appeared during the trial, conferred in silent communion. Naruto could sense their mental voices but couldn't make out the words. Hiryu alone remained by his side, pressed reassuringly against his leg. We have reached a decision, Enki announced finally. Naruto Uzumaki, despite your burden, or perhaps because of how you bear it, we find you worthy. Your heart remains pure despite the darkness inflicted upon you. Your determination to prove yourself through protection rather than destruction resonates with our own values. With a winged gesture, Enki summoned a scroll that materialized from flame, ancient parchment bound with gold thread. It unrolled before Naruto, revealing a list of names, most faded to near invisibility, the last one blackened and struck through. This is the Phoenix summoning contract, Enki explained. Not seen by human eyes in centuries. If you sign, you accept a sacred trust, to use our power for protection, for healing, for balance. Never for wanton destruction or personal gain. Naruto stared at the scroll, the magnitude of the moment not lost on him. What exactly would this mean? For me and for you? For you, it means gaining allies unlike any other, Enki replied. Phoenixes are not primarily combat summons, though we can fight when necessary. Our strength lies in healing, in renewal, in purification. We can enhance your own chakra, guide you through flame, and eventually, if you prove yourself worthy, teach you the Phoenix Sage arts. For us, he continued, it means returning to the human world after long absence. It means placing our trust in you as our representative. The contract creates a bond that allows us to sense your emotional state, to come to your aid when truly needed. Naruto considered this carefully. And the nine tails? Will that be a problem? The tailed beast's presence complicates matters, Enki admitted, but also presents unique possibilities. Phoenix chakra has purifying properties that may help you better contain, and eventually harness its power. Hiryu nudged Naruto's hand. It's your choice, Naruto. But I believe in you. Decision made, Naruto nodded firmly. I'll sign. A small ceremonial knife appeared, wreathed in blue flame. Naruto pricked his finger and pressed his bloodied fingerprints to the parchment. As he did, his name appeared in fiery script that seemed to burn into the very fabric of the scroll. Heat flashed through Naruto's body, not painful but intense, like stepping from shadow into brilliant sunlight. For a moment, he felt connected to something vast and ancient, the collective consciousness of phoenixes throughout time, their wisdom, their power, their unwavering commitment to renewal. It is done, Enki declared. Naruto Uzumaki, you are now contracted to the Phoenix clan. To summon us, you will need these hand signs. Images appeared in Naruto's mind, specific sequences similar to but distinct from the usual summoning technique. They seemed to sear themselves into his memory. Would you like to attempt your first conscious summoning? Enki asked. Naruto's face split into an eager grin. Hell yeah! Following the mental images, Naruto bit his thumb, ran through the hand signs, and slammed his palm to the ground. Summoning jutsu, Chakra pulsed outward, far less controlled than an experienced summoner's would be. A small puff of smoke appeared, and from it emerged a phoenix no larger than a robin, its feathers a bright orange gold that almost matched Naruto's jumpsuit. Kahaku, at your service. The tiny phoenix announced, its mental voice surprisingly chipper. It hopped excitedly around Naruto's feet. First summoning in centuries and it's me. Wait till the others hear about this. Naruto's face fell slightly. I was hoping for something a little more impressive. Enki made a sound like chiming bells, a phoenix laugh. Summoning is an art that requires precise chakra control, something you currently lack. Kahaku may be small, but he is an excellent messenger and scout. As your skills improve, you will be able to summon larger, more specialized phoenixes. Kahaku fluttered up to perch on Naruto's shoulder, preening proudly. We're gonna be great partners. I can deliver messages, spy on enemies, and I'm really fast. Despite his initial disappointment, Naruto couldn't help but smile at the little phoenix's enthusiasm. Nice to meet you, Kahaku. Enki stepped forward, his presence commanding attention. Naruto Uzumaki, this contract must remain secret for now. The return of phoenix summoners to the world will draw attention from those who would exploit our power. Until you have mastered basic summoning, tell no one. What about my team? Naruto asked, thinking particularly of Kakashi-sensei's inevitable questions if he started using phoenix techniques. Use discretion, Enki advised. Your mentor, perhaps, when the time is right. But remember that secrets revealed cannot be unrevealed. Hiryu hopped forward. Elder Enki, with your permission, I wish to remain with Naruto as his personal partner and guide. The Elder Phoenix considered this request. Your wounds are not fully healed, Hiryu. All the more reason, Hiryu countered. Naruto's chakra has been helping me recover. And he will need guidance in Phoenix ways. After a moment's consideration, Enki nodded. So be it. Hiryu will be your primary companion, Naruto. Learn from each other. Dawn was breaking by the time Naruto made his way back to Tazuna's house. Hiryu once again nestled inside his jacket, Kahaku having returned to the spirit realm. His mind buzzed with everything he learned, everything that had changed in a single night. He had a summoning contract. With phoenixes. Creatures of legend thought lost to the world. As he slipped back into the house, he found Kakashi awake, propped up on his futon, regarding him with his one visible eye. Early morning training, Naruto? Kakashi asked mildly, though something in his tone suggested he knew there was more to the story. Something like that, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto replied with a grin. I've got a feeling this is going to be an interesting week. Morning broke over the land of waves in a watercolor smear of pinks and golds that reflected off the surrounding sea. Mist clung to the surface of the water like reluctant ghosts, slowly burning away under the sun's persistent gaze. Through this ethereal landscape, Team 7 followed Kakashi into the forest, their footsteps muffled by the soft carpet of fallen pine needles. Kakashi moved with remarkable agility for someone who had been bedridden just hours before, though he still relied on a makeshift crutch fashioned from a sturdy branch. His visible eye crinkled with what might have been amusement or pain. With Kakashi, it was always hard to tell. This spot should do, he announced, halting in a clearing ringed by towering trees whose trunks shot skyward like wooden pillars. Sunlight filtered through the canopy in dappled patterns, creating shifting mosaics on the forest floor. Naruto bounced on his toes, barely containing his excitement. Inside his jacket, Hiryu shifted slightly, a warm reminder of their secret pact. What kind of training are we doing, Kakashi-sensei? Naruto demanded, his voice echoing through the quiet forest. Some awesome new jutsu? Combat techniques? How to slice a guy in half with ninja wire? Sakura winced. Must you be so graphic? Kakashi's eye crinkled further. Today, we climbed trees. 3 pairs of genin eyes stared at him in blank disbelief. Trees, Sasuke repeated flatly, as though the word itself was an insult. But not just any tree climbing. With surprising grace for an injured man, Kakashi formed a simple hand seal. Chakra flared briefly around his feet, and he walked, vertically, up the nearest trunk. Defying gravity, he strolled casually until he hung upside down from a branch, his silver hair dangling toward the ground like a metallic waterfall. Without using your hands, Naruto's jaw dropped. That's actually pretty cool. This exercise focuses on controlling your chakra, Kakashi explained, his upside-down eye surveying them with clinical interest. Channel too little chakra, you fall. Too much, you get repelled. Master this, and no jutsu will be beyond your theoretical grasp. He tossed 3 kunai that thudded into the ground at the genin's feet. Mark your progress as you climb. I want to see how high each of you can get by the end of the day. Naruto snatched up his kunai, grinning with confident bravado. This'll be easy. I'll be at the top before lunch. Sasuke said nothing, but the determined set of his jaw spoke volumes. Sakura eyed her tree thoughtfully, already calculating the precise chakra control required. Begin, Kakashi ordered, pulling out his familiar orange book as he continued to defy gravity. The 3 genin formed the same hand seal, focusing chakra to their feet as instructed. Naruto felt the energy pool beneath his soles, wild, untamed, and far too abundant. He charged his tree with a battle cry, made it 3 steps up the vertical surface before the bark beneath his foot exploded from excessive chakra. His body flew backward, landing with a graceless thud that knocked the wind from his lungs. That's a lot harder than it looks, he wheezed. Beside him, Sasuke fared marginally better, making it 8 steps before his foot slipped. The Uchiha executed a graceful backflip, landing in a crouch, his expression darkening with frustration. Hey guys! Sakura's cheerful voice called from above. Both boys looked up to see their female teammate perched casually on a high branch, legs swinging, her pink hair catching the sunlight as she beamed down at them. She had reached nearly 2/3 of the way up her tree on the first attempt. Well, Kakashi drawled from his upside-down position. It seems the female member of our squad has the most advanced chakra control. Perhaps the Uchiha clan isn't so great after all. And as for our future Hokage, well, that dream's looking rather distant at the moment. Naruto gritted his teeth, irritation warring with grudging respect as he glanced at Sakura. She had always excelled at theoretical aspects of being a ninja, but this was the first time he'd seen her outshine both himself and Sasuke in a practical skill. Way to go, Sakura! He called up, his genuine praise causing her eyes to widen in surprise. Sasuke merely grunted, turning back to his tree with renewed intensity. For the next hour, the clearing echoed with the sounds of running feet, splintering bark, and occasional crashes as the boys continued their attempts. Naruto's frustration mounted with each failure, his kunai marks barely climbing higher than his previous attempts. You're forcing it, Hirya's voice whispered in his mind. Your chakra is like wildfire, powerful but untamed. For this, you need a candle flame, focused and steady. Easier said than done, Naruto muttered under his breath, wiping sweat from his brow. After a particularly spectacular failure that sent him tumbling head over heels, Naruto found himself lying flat on his back, staring up at the patches of sky visible through the canopy. To his surprise, Sakura approached, her expression hesitant. Naruto? Do you want some advice? Naruto blinked, and used to Sakura offering him help rather than berating him. Sure. She knelt beside him, lowering her voice. It's about finding balance. Too much chakra breaks the connection, too little and you slip. Try focusing on a feeling of harmony, I guess? Like your feet and the tree becoming part of the same system. Naruto nodded slowly, processing her words. They aligned surprisingly well with what Hirya had been telling him. Thanks, Sakura. I'll try that. When Kakashi announced a break for lunch, Naruto had managed to climb nearly 15 feet. Progress, but still far behind Sakura's casual mastery and even Sasuke's determined advance. Don't be discouraged, Hiryu comforted. Your chakra reserves are enormous compared to your teammates. That makes fine control more challenging, but also means your potential is greater. The thought cheered Naruto somewhat, though his competitive nature still chafed at being outperformed. I'll accompany you to the village, Naruto volunteered when Tsunami mentioned needing supplies for dinner. Partly, he was curious about the land of waves beyond Tazuna's home, But he also wanted a break from the constant reminder of his slow progress with tree climbing. Tsunami smiled gratefully, her gentle features brightening. Thank you, Naruto. It's safer not to go alone these days. They walked along the shoreline, a path that eventually widened into what passed for the main street of the village. What Naruto saw made his steps falter. This is... he whispered, unable to finish the thought. Tsunami nodded grimly. This is what Gato has done to our country. The village was a skeleton of what it once must have been. Storefronts stood empty, their windows boarded up or shattered. The few shops still operating displayed nearly bare shelves. People moved through the streets with downcast eyes and hunched shoulders, as if trying to make themselves invisible. Children, too thin, played listlessly with makeshift toys fashioned from debris. The smell of poverty hung in the air, a mixture of unwashed bodies, stagnant water, and desperation that Naruto recognized from the worst slums of Konoha, but magnified tenfold. How do people survive? He asked, his voice uncharacteristically soft. We fish when Gato's men aren't watching. We forage in the forest. We share what little we have. Tsunami's eyes hardened. We endure. As they navigated the sparse marketplace, a commotion erupted ahead. A man had snatched something from a child's hands and was sprinting through the crowd. Food thief, Tsunami explained, her expression a mixture of condemnation and pity. It happens daily now. Without hesitation, Naruto darted forward, Chakra surging to his feet, not for tree walking, but for raw speed. He cut through the crowd like a kunai through paper, intercepting the thief at an intersection. One quick leg sweep, and the man tumbled to the ground, a small package flying from his grasp. Naruto caught it midair, a pitiful bundle containing 3 dried fish and a handful of rice balls. The thief scrambled to his feet, face contorted with desperate rage. Give that back. You don't understand what it's like here. I understand stealing from kids is low, no matter how hungry you are, Naruto shot back, though there was more compassion than condemnation in his voice. A small girl pushed through the gathering crowd, tears streaming down her dirt-smudged face. Those were for my baby brother, she sobbed. He's sick. Something in Naruto's chest tightened. He returned the bundle to the girl, then reached into his own pack, producing several protein bars and a package of dried meat. Standard ninja rations, not delicious, but nutritious and filling. He tossed them to the would-be thief. Next time, ask for help instead of stealing from someone worse off than you. The man caught the offerings with shaking hands, disbelief and shame warring on his gaunt face. Why would you help me? I'm nobody to you, Naruto shrugged. Because I can. And because everybody deserves a chance to do better. The small crowd that had gathered watched the exchange with wide eyes. Something flickered across their faces, a spark, quickly suppressed, but unmistakable. Hope. As Naruto and Tsunami continued their shopping, whispers followed them. People stared at Naruto's headband, at his bright orange clothing so at odds with the muted, faded garments of Wave Country. That's one of the ninja protecting Tazuna. Did you see how fast he moved? Do you think they can really stand against Gato? A wizened old woman approached as Tsunami bartered for vegetables, pressing a slightly bruised but fragrant peach into Naruto's hand. For the bright one, she murmured, her eyes crinkling with a smile that revealed missing teeth. We haven't seen your kind in a long time. Before Naruto could respond, she shuffled away, disappearing into the crowd. They're starved for more than food, Hiryu observed from within Naruto's jacket. They hunger for hope. On their way back, Tsunami explained more about Gato's stranglehold on the country, how he controlled all shipping, imposed crushing taxes, and employed mercenaries to enforce his will. Her voice grew passionate as she described how the bridge represented freedom from his tyranny. Before my husband died, he told the villagers something I'll never forget, she said, her eyes distant with memory. If we do nothing, nothing will change. That's why my father continues building, despite the danger. That's why your team's protection means everything to us. Naruto absorbed her words, feeling their weight settle on his shoulders, not as a burden, but as a purpose. Kakashi had described this as a B-rank mission. In reality, it was so much more. It was the survival of an entire country. We won't let you down, he promised, his voice carrying the same unwavering certainty that infused his declarations of becoming Hokage. Believe it. Night draped the forest in velvet darkness, broken only by patches of silver moonlight filtering through the canopy. Naruto slipped silently from Tazuna's house, Hiryu perched on his shoulder rather than hidden in his jacket. The phoenix's feathers glowed softly, providing just enough illumination to navigate the treacherous root systems that threatened to trip unwary feet. They returned to the same clearing where Team 7 had trained earlier. Evidence of their efforts remained, gouges in the bark, disturbed earth where they had landed after falls, and the occasional embedded kunai marking their highest points. Alright, Naruto grinned, cracking his knuckles. Time for some real training. Hiryu took flight, circling the clearing before perching on a low branch. Before we continue your summoning practice, I should tell you more about Phoenix history and philosophy. Understanding who we are will help you work with our chakra more effectively. Naruto plopped cross-legged onto the ground, his expression attentive if slightly impatient. History lesson first, then cool fire techniques? Hiryu made the chiming sound of Phoenix laughter. Yes, young one. Knowledge before power. The Phoenix's amber eyes gleamed in the darkness as he began his tale. Phoenixes have existed since the earliest days of Chakra, when the barriers between spiritual and physical energy were first breached. We represent the cycle of destruction and renewal, the cleansing flame that burns away the old to make room for new growth. Images formed in the air as Hiryu spoke, created from subtle manipulations of his fiery chakra. Pictures of ancient phoenixes soaring above primordial landscapes. Unlike most summons, we are not tied to a specific region. Phoenix clans maintain sacred sites throughout the world, moving between them in great migrations that follow patterns of natural energy. We are creatures of balance. Where there is too much darkness, we bring light. Where there is unchecked growth, we bring necessary reduction. Naruto leaned forward, genuinely fascinated despite his usual disinterest in theoretical knowledge. The hovering images shifted to show phoenixes alongside humans, working in harmony. Our connection to hope and renewal resonates with your own spirit, Naruto. You've experienced darkness but remain uncorrupted by it. You seek acknowledgement but not at the expense of others. These qualities, resilience, determination, compassion, align perfectly with Phoenix values. Now, Hiryu's tone shifted, becoming more instructor than storyteller. Let us practice summoning again. This time, focus on your emotional state rather than raw chakra output. Naruto stood, forming the specialized hand signs he'd been taught. What emotion should I focus on? Intent, Hiryu replied. Why do you wish to summon? Protection? Communication? Healing? The purpose shapes the outcome. Biting his thumb to draw blood, Naruto cycled through the hand signs with growing confidence. Summoning jutsu, he called, slamming his palm to the ground. Chakra rippled outward, more controlled than his previous attempt. Smoke billowed, dissipating to reveal Kahaku, the small messenger phoenix he'd summoned at the shrine. Naruto! Kahaku chirped excitedly, hopping around in circles. You called me again. What's the mission? Reconnaissance? Message delivery? Extremely small-scale combat? Naruto's enthusiasm dimmed slightly. I was kind of hoping for someone bigger this time. Hiryu fluttered down from his branch. Size isn't everything, Naruto. Kahaku is perfect for practicing precise chakra control. Try forming a link with him. A link? A mental connection, Hiryu explained. It allows summoner and phoenix to share perceptions. Extremely useful for reconnaissance. Following Hiryu's instructions, Naruto formed another seal, concentrating on connecting his chakra with Kahaku's. For a moment, nothing happened, then suddenly, his vision doubled. He could see himself from Kahaku's perspective, a giant orange-clad human looming overhead. Whoa! Naruto staggered, disoriented by the dual vision. That's wild. With practice, you'll be able to maintain the connection while Kahaku travels miles away, Hiryu explained. Phoenix messengers are unparalleled for gathering intelligence. They practice for another hour, summoning, dispelling, and resummoning Kahaku while working on maintaining the mental link. By the third attempt, Naruto could comfortably process both his own vision and the phoenix's simultaneously. Excellent progress, Hiryu praised. Now let's try something more challenging. Summon with the intent of combat. Naruto grinned. This was more like it. He focused on protection, on fighting alongside a partner, and slammed his palm down once more. Summoning jutsu. The smoke cloud that appeared was significantly larger this time. When it cleared, a phoenix the size of a large eagle stood before him. Its plumage was primarily crimson with golden wingtips that seemed to flicker with actual flames. Sharp, intelligent eyes regarded Naruto with assessment rather than Kahaku's puppyish enthusiasm. I am Akira, the new phoenix introduced itself, voice deeper and more formal than Kahaku's or even Hiryu's. Combat specialist of the Minor Flame Division. You have summoned me with surprisingly adequate chakra control for a novice. Naruto wasn't entirely sure if he'd been complimented or insulted. Nice to meet you, Akira. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, future Hokage and your new summoner. Akira's head tilted slightly. Future Hokage? Ambitious. The phoenix stretched its impressive wings. Let us see what you're capable of then. Attack me? Attack you? But, before Naruto could finish his protest, Akira launched skyward, then dived with talons extended. Naruto barely dodged, feeling the whoosh of air as the phoenix shot past him. Too slow, Akira commented, banking for another approach. A real enemy would have drawn blood. For the next 30 minutes, Naruto found himself engaged in the strangest spar of his young life, dodging, weaving, and occasionally attempting to counter a bird that moved with uncanny speed and precision. Akira never actually struck him, but came close enough to make it clear the phoenix could have if it wanted to. Finally, panting and sweaty but grinning with exhilaration, Naruto held up his hands. Okay. You're amazing. What's next? Do you teach me some fire techniques now? Akira landed before him, preening casually as if the intense aerial acrobatics had been nothing more than a light warm-up. Perhaps one basic technique, since you've shown adequate physical capability. The combat phoenix demonstrated a series of movements, wing positions that translated to hand seals for Naruto. This is Phoenix Flower Jutsu, similar to what your Uchiha teammate uses, but with a crucial difference. These flames respond to your intent and can be controlled after release. Naruto practiced the hand seals until Akira deemed his execution acceptable, then attempted the jutsu. His first try produced only a sad puff of smoke. The second yielded a single, anemic flame that dissipated before traveling 3 feet. You're overthinking, Hiryu observed from his perch. You've spent years being told to control and suppress your chakra. For this, you need to let it flow naturally while directing its purpose. On the 7th attempt, something clicked. Naruto felt his chakra resonating with something new, the phoenix energy that had been gradually integrating with his own system since signing the contract. Small flames burst from his mouth, hovering in the air before him like obedient fireflies. I did it! He crowed, concentration breaking immediately, causing the flames to wink out. A beginning, Akira acknowledged, less critical than before. With practice, you'll manage larger flames and greater control. For now, that's enough. The combat phoenix dispelled itself in a puff of smoke, leaving Naruto alone with Hiryu once more. Well done, Hiryu praised. Akira rarely shows approval to new summoners. You've impressed him. Naruto beamed, though fatigue was beginning to set in after hours of intense training. He slumped against the tree trunk, letting his head fall back against the rough bark. This phoenix contract is amazing, but it's also exhausting. All worthwhile paths require effort, Hiryu replied, settling on Naruto's knee. Rest now. Dawn approaches, and you have team training again tomorrow. The next day's training proceeded much like the first, though Naruto noticed his control had improved marginally overnight. While still far behind Sakura, who had mastered the exercise completely, and Sasuke, who was making steady progress, he could now consistently reach the halfway point of his tree before losing his foothold. What troubled him, though, was a new sensation that occurred during moments of intense concentration. A second chakra, red and caustic, would bubble up from deep within, disrupting his careful control. The Ninetales, growing restless as Naruto accessed more of his own power. That night, during his secret training with Hiryu, Naruto broached the subject. It's like the fox doesn't want me to improve, he complained, sprawled on his back after a particularly grueling session of chakra control exercises. Every time I start making real progress, I feel this burning inside. Not like phoenix fire, but something angry and hungry. Hiryu considered this with solemn interest. The tailed beasts are complex entities, neither wholly malevolent nor benign. They resent confinement above all else. Try something for me, the phoenix suggested. Meditate and deliberately draw up a small amount of the Ninetales chakra, just enough to feel its presence. Are you crazy? Naruto bolted upright. That's dangerous. I don't know how to control that stuff. I'll be here to help, Hiryu assured him. And we're not seeking to control it yet, merely to understand the interaction between Fox Chakra and Phoenix Chakra. Reluctantly, Naruto assumed a cross-legged position, closing his eyes and turning his awareness inward. He'd never deliberately sought the Ninetales' power before, but he knew its feeling well enough. That surge of rage and strength that occasionally emerged in moments of extreme danger or emotion. He mentally reached for that sensation, that roiling pool of crimson energy he could always sense at the periphery of his consciousness. Immediately, he felt it respond, eager, almost gleeful at being acknowledged. Red chakra began to seep out, enveloping Naruto in a caustic aura that scorched the grass beneath him. His canines lengthened, nails sharpening into claws, whisker marks deepening on his cheeks. Easy, Hiryu's voice penetrated the growing haze of anger and power. That's enough. Hold it there. The phoenix approached fearlessly, despite the fox chakra's inherently threatening nature. As Hiryu drew closer, his own chakra flared in response, not defensively, but almost curiously. When Hiryu's wing touched Naruto's arm, something extraordinary happened. Gold energy spiraled from the point of contact, threading through the red chakra like sunlight penetrating storm clouds. Where the two energies met, they didn't fight for dominance as Naruto expected. Instead, they began to harmonize, the red becoming less caustic, the gold gaining intensity. Inside his mindscape, Naruto sensed the Nine Tails stir with surprise, a massive eye-opening to observe this unexpected development. Naruto gasped as the combined energies flowed through his system, either as rage-inducing as pure fox chakra nor as gentle as phoenix energy alone. But something new, powerful yet controlled, fierce yet focused. "What's happening?" he whispered, opening eyes that flickered between slitted red and warm amber. "Fascinating," Hiryu murmured. "Historically, phoenixes have helped Jinchuriki balance their tailed beast's chakra. Our energy has purifying properties that don't suppress the beasts but rather harmonize with them." The red-gold aura faded as Naruto let his concentration lapse, leaving him feeling strangely energized rather than drained. That was incredible. It didn't feel like the fox was trying to take over. It felt like we were working together, almost. "The path to mastering the Nine Tails lies not in domination but in harmony," Hiryu observed. "Something to explore further, as your skills develop." Naruto nodded, mind racing with possibilities. If Phoenix Chakra could help him access the Nine Tails' power without the rage and loss of control, it would be a game-changer for his development as a ninja. Days passed in a rhythm of official team training by day and secret Phoenix training by night. Naruto's progress accelerated as he applied insights from one practice to the other. His chakra control improved dramatically, though still not matching Sakura's precise mastery, or even Sasuke's growing proficiency. What Naruto lacked in raw control, however, he made up for in innovative applications. During one evening session with Hiryu and Haku, he discovered he could create modified shadow clones infused with Phoenix Chakra, flame clones, as he dubbed them. Unlike regular shadow clones that simply popped out of existence when dispelled, these clones dissolved into harmless flames that could transfer warmth, and even minor healing to the original Naruto when they dispersed. The practical applications were immediate and significant. Naruto could create clones that, upon completion of a task, could self-dispel and return some chakra to him along with their experiences. On the 5th day of training, Kakashi gathered Team 7 for an assessment of their progress. Impressive, the Jonin acknowledged as Sakura demonstrated her perfect tree-climbing technique. Sasuke showed his ability to reach the uppermost branches, and even Naruto managed to climb all the way to the top, though with visible effort compared to his teammates' ease. "Naruto," Kakashi called as they prepared to return to Tezuna's house. "A word." The other genin continued ahead while Naruto hung back, fighting the irrational fear that somehow Kakashi had discovered his Phoenix contract. "Your improvement these past few days has been interesting," Kakashi observed, his visible eye studying Naruto with unusual intensity. "Your chakra feels different. More harmonized." Naruto rubbed the back of his head nervously. "I've been practicing really hard, Kakashi-sensei." The syllable conveyed volumes of skepticism. "Your chakra control has always been your greatest weakness, yet suddenly you're making leaps that would normally take months of training." Kakashi leaned closer. "Is there something you want to tell me, Naruto?" For a moment, Naruto considered confessing everything: the Phoenix contract, Hiryu, the nightly training sessions. But Enki's warning about keeping the contract secret echoed in his mind. Not yet. Not until he had better mastery. "I just found my own way of understanding the exercise," he answered instead, not quite lying but certainly omitting crucial information. "Something clicked, you know?" Kakashi studied him for another long moment before his eye curved in what might have been a smile. "Well, whatever method you found, keep at it. At this rate, you might actually survive our next encounter with Zabuza." The casual reference to their impending confrontation sent a chill down Naruto's spine despite the warmth of Hiryu pressed against his chest. In the intensity of training, he'd almost forgotten the deadly ninja who would soon return, seeking to complete his mission. That night, Naruto trained with even greater determination. Enki himself appeared at the secret clearing, his majestic presence filling the small space with golden light. "Your progress is remarkable for one so young," the elder Phoenix observed after Naruto demonstrated his growing mastery of basic Phoenix techniques. "But there is much more to learn if you are to face the challenges ahead." Naruto sat cross-legged before the great Phoenix, attention rapt as Enki shared deeper knowledge of Phoenix history. The elder spoke of ancient summoners who had worked alongside phoenixes to end conflicts without bloodshed, to heal lands ravaged by war, to restore balance in times of chaos. One technique in particular may prove useful in your coming trial, Enki suggested. Phoenix healing differs fundamentally from conventional medical ninjutsu. Rather than knitting wounds directly, it uses purifying flame to accelerate the body's natural healing processes and burn away impurities. Under Enki's guidance, Naruto began practicing the basics of Phoenix healing. It proved surprisingly intuitive for him, perhaps because it relied more on emotional intent than precise chakra manipulation. By focusing on feelings of protection and renewal while channeling Phoenix-infused chakra, Naruto could generate a gentle golden flame that soothed rather than burned. He practiced on a small cut on his own hand, marveling as the flame danced across his skin, leaving healed flesh in its wake. "This is amazing!" he exclaimed. "Wait till Sakura sees this. Remember our agreement," Enki cautioned. "Until you have mastered these techniques, discretion is essential. Phoenix healing is distinctive and would immediately reveal your contract to knowledgeable observers." Naruto nodded reluctantly. The secret keeping was becoming increasingly difficult as his abilities expanded, but he understood the wisdom in Enki's caution. As dawn approached and their training session concluded, Enki fixed Naruto with a penetrating gaze. "What will you do, young summoner, if you cannot save everyone in the coming conflict?" The question caught Naruto off guard. "What do you mean? Zabuza and his apprentice are not evil in the conventional sense. They are tools wielded by evil hands. If circumstances force a choice between them and your comrades, where will your mercy land?" Naruto frowned, genuinely troubled by the question. I don't know. I want to protect my friends and complete our mission, but you've begun to see the complexity of human conflict," Enki finished for him. "This awareness is crucial for a Phoenix summoner. We do not deal in simple absolutes of good and evil, but in the more challenging realm of balance and necessity." The elder Phoenix's wings spread wide, preparation for departure. "Consider this as you prepare for battle. Sometimes the greatest victory lies not in destroying your enemy, but in transforming them." With those cryptic words, Enki vanished in a swirl of golden flames, leaving Naruto with more questions than answers. The following day brought disturbing news from the village. Gato had doubled the number of mercenaries patrolling the streets. Several bridge workers had been beaten as a warning, and one shop that had refused to pay protection money had been burned to the ground. Tazuna's shoulders slumped as he relayed these developments over breakfast, his weathered face lined with exhaustion and worry. Despite everything, he remained resolute about continuing the bridge construction. "We're down to a skeleton crew," he admitted, "but those who remain are the bravest souls in the land of waves. We'll finish that bridge or die trying." "You won't die," Naruto declared with unexpected gravity, his usual boisterous confidence replaced by quiet determination. "We'll make sure of it." After breakfast, while Kakashi took Sasuke and Sakura to guard Tazuna at the bridge, Naruto volunteered to remain behind. "I overdid the training last night," he explained, feigning exhaustion. "I'll catch up after I rest a bit." His real purpose was to explore the village again, this time with Kahaku's help. The small phoenix, nearly invisible as he flitted from rooftop to rooftop, provided reconnaissance that gave Naruto a comprehensive picture of Gato's operations. The shipping magnate had established headquarters in a mansion on the island's far side. Mercenaries patrolled in patterns designed to intimidate rather than merely secure. Food and supplies arrived daily on Gato's ships, only to be hoarded in warehouses while the villagers starved. Most troubling was the discovery of a large force gathering at the headquarters, far more men than would be needed simply to kill Tazuna. Gato appeared to be preparing for something bigger, perhaps a full takeover of the village once the bridge builder was eliminated. Unable to directly confront this force without revealing himself, Naruto found other ways to resist. Using his shadow clones transformed to look like ordinary villagers, he organized subtle acts of defiance. Food redistributed from Gato's warehouses to hungry families. Mercenaries led on wild goose chases. Warning systems established to alert villagers before raids. It wasn't enough to end Gato's tyranny, but it kindled sparks of resistance throughout the community. Each small victory strengthened the villagers' resolve, reminding them they weren't powerless. During one such operation, Naruto encountered Inari watching from the shadows, his young face a mixture of disbelief and nascent hope as he observed the ninja's efforts. When their eyes met, Inari quickly ducked away, but not before Naruto caught the glimmer of something new in the boy's expression, a crack in his shell of cynicism. That evening, Naruto found Inari sitting alone on the dock behind his house, small legs dangling above the water turned gold by the setting sun. Without asking permission, Naruto plopped down beside him. "Your dad," Naruto began without preamble. "Kaiza. Tell me about him." Inari stiffened, face immediately closing off. "Why do you care?" "He's dead. Caring about him didn't save him." "Maybe not," Naruto acknowledged. but it might save what he stood for. Something in Naruto's tone, earnest, lacking his usual bluster, made Inari glance sideways at him. Slowly, haltingly, the boy began to speak of the man who had become his father in all but blood, a traveler who had settled in their village, who had taught Inari about courage, who had become a hero to everyone by repeatedly standing up to Gato's oppression. He always said that if you care about something, you have to protect it with your own two arms, even if it costs your life. Inari's voice broke on the last words. But in the end, he couldn't protect anything. Gato executed him in public as a warning. And nobody did anything to stop it. Tears streamed down Inari's face, years of bottled grief and anger finally finding release. Heroes don't exist. They're just people who haven't been killed yet. Naruto listened in silence, letting the boy's pain wash over him without judgment. When Inari's sobs finally subsided to hiccups, Naruto spoke softly. I never knew my parents, he began, staring out at the darkening water. The villagers in my home treated me like I was something dirty, something to be feared and hated. For the longest time, I didn't understand why. Inari looked up, momentarily forgetting his own grief and surprise at this revelation from the seemingly carefree ninja. I could have become bitter, Naruto continued. I could have decided everyone was right about me being worthless. But instead I chose to prove them wrong, not by hurting them back, but by becoming someone they'd have to acknowledge. He turned to meet Inari's tear-stained gaze. Your dad wasn't wrong, Inari. A hero isn't someone who never fails or never dies. A hero is someone who stands up knowing they might fail, knowing they might die, but does it anyway because some things are worth the risk. Naruto's hand moved unconsciously to his jacket where Hiria rested, drawing strength from the phoenix's warm presence. Gato isn't invincible. His kind of power, fear, money, cruelty, those things seem strong, but they're brittle compared to real strength. What's real strength, then? Inari asked, his voice small but genuinely curious. People protecting what they care about. People working together instead of just for themselves. Naruto grinned suddenly, the expression transforming his serious face back into that of the exuberant boy Inari was more familiar with. Your dad knew that. That's why Gato had to kill him, not because he was weak, but because he was showing everyone else how to be strong. Inari absorbed these words slowly, his young face contemplative. He didn't smile, didn't suddenly transform into a beacon of optimism, but something had shifted in his expression, a seedling of possibility breaking through the hard soil of despair. I still think you're probably going to die, he finally said, but the words lacked their former conviction. Naruto laughed, ruffling the boy's hair. Maybe. But I'll make it count if I do. As they walked back to the house together, the first stars appearing overhead, Naruto felt Hiria stir inside his jacket. Well spoken, young summoner, the phoenix approved. Perhaps you've just rekindled the first real flame of resistance in this land, the belief that change is possible. The final day before Zabuza's anticipated return found Team 7 making last-minute preparations. Kakashi had recovered completely from his chakra exhaustion, Sasuke had mastered the tree-climbing exercise entirely, and even Naruto could now run up and down vertical surfaces with reasonable confidence. After dinner, Kakashi gathered them for a strategy session. Based on our previous encounter, and what we know of Zabuza's abilities, we can expect the following. He'll likely attack at the bridge, where there's plenty of water for his techniques and limited escape routes. His masked accomplice will support him with those Senbon techniques we witnessed. Sakura frowned thoughtfully. The Hunter Nin, or fake Hunter Nin, seem to prefer non-lethal attacks. Is it possible they're reluctant to kill? Possible, but dangerous to assume, Kakashi cautioned. Never underestimate an opponent based on perceived mercy. We should take out Zabuza first, Sasuke suggested, fingers steepled before his face in characteristic contemplation. Without his protection, the accomplice might surrender or flee. Naruto shifted uncomfortably, remembering Enki's words about the complexity of conflict. Maybe we should try talking to them first? I mean, they're just hired muscle, right? If Gato's the real problem. Kakashi's visible eye regarded Naruto with surprise. An unexpectedly diplomatic approach from our most impulsive team member. While admirable, Naruto, I doubt Zabuza is the negotiating type. Still, Naruto persisted, it feels wrong to just assume we have to kill them. Maybe there's another way. In the shinobi world, there isn't always another way, Kakashi said, his tone gentler than his words. But we'll adjust based on the situation. Our primary mission is protecting Tazuna until the bridge is complete. As the meeting concluded and the team dispersed to rest before tomorrow's likely confrontation, Naruto slipped outside for one final training session. To his surprise, he found Sasuke already in the clearing, practicing fire techniques with brutal intensity. Their eyes met in the darkness, Sasuke's narrowing with suspicion. "What are you doing out here, Do?" he demanded. "Same as you, team. Getting ready for tomorrow." Naruto shifted nervously, aware of Hiryu concealed in his jacket. "Couldn't sleep." Sasuke studied him for a long moment, his perceptive gaze unsettling. "You've been different since we arrived here. Sneaking out every night. Improving too quickly. Using techniques you shouldn't know." Naruto froze. "What do you mean?" "I followed you the third night," Sasuke admitted bluntly. "I saw enough to know you're hiding something. Something to do with fire techniques that I've never seen before." Heart pounding, Naruto weighed his options. Denying it seemed pointless. Sasuke was too observant, and they were facing life-threatening danger tomorrow. Having Sasuke suspicious and distrustful during battle could endanger everyone. "If I tell you, you have to swear to keep it secret," Naruto finally said, decision made. "At least for now." Sasuke's expression remained neutral, but he gave a short nod. "If it doesn't threaten the mission or the team, I'll keep your secret." Slowly, Naruto unzipped his jacket, allowing Hiryu to emerge onto his shoulder. Even in the dim moonlight, the phoenix's feathers glowed with internal fire, casting Sasuke's surprised face in golden light. "This is Hiryu," Naruto introduced. "And I've got a lot to explain." As the night deepened around them, Naruto shared the truth about the Phoenix contract, demonstrating some of the basic techniques he'd learned. To his credit, Sasuke listened without interruption, his initial skepticism giving way to grudging interest. "So that's how you've been improving so quickly," he finally said when Naruto concluded his explanation. "You've had a secret advantage this whole time." "It's not like that," Naruto protested. "It's not just free power. It takes work and control and—" "Relax, Dobe," Sasuke cut him off with what might have been the ghost of a smile. "I'm not accusing you of cheating. Actually, it's—" He seemed to struggle with the admission. "Impressive that you managed to earn a summoning contract, especially one so rare." Naruto blinked, genuinely shocked by what sounded suspiciously like a compliment from his rival. Sasuke's expression turned serious again. "How will this affect tomorrow's battle? Any techniques I should know about, if we're fighting together?" The question caught Naruto off guard, not just the practical nature of it, but the implication that Sasuke was already thinking of them as comrades in arms rather than competitors. "I can heal minor wounds with Phoenix Fire," Naruto explained. "And I've developed a version of shadow clones that explode into healing flame when dispelled, plus some fire techniques that I'm still getting the hang of." Sasuke nodded, already calculating how these abilities might be incorporated into battle strategy. "Does Kakashi know?" "Not yet. I was told to keep it secret until I had better control." "Understandable." Sasuke rose to his feet, dusting off his shorts. "We should rest. Tomorrow will test all of us." As Sasuke turned to leave, Naruto called after him. "Hey Sasuke! Thanks for not making a big deal about this." The Uchiha paused, glancing back over his shoulder. "Just don't die tomorrow, Do. I'd hate to lose my rival to someone like Zabuza." The words, gruff as they were, carried an unmistakable undercurrent of concern. Perhaps the closest thing to friendship Sasuke Uchiha was capable of expressing. An interesting development, Hiryu observed as Sasuke disappeared into the night. The Uchiha boy has his own darkness to contend with, but there is honor in him. "Yeah," Naruto agreed, suddenly feeling more optimistic about their chances tomorrow. "We'll be okay as long as we stick together." Back at Tozuna's house, as Naruto finally settled into his bedroll for a few hours of much-needed sleep, he felt a strange sense of calm despite the danger looming ahead. Whatever happened on the bridge tomorrow, he wouldn't face it alone. He had his team, he had his phoenixes, and he had a growing confidence in his own abilities. His final thought before drifting off was of Inari's father and the lesson he taught, that protecting what matters sometimes requires risking everything. Tomorrow would show whether Naruto had truly learned that lesson. Dawn painted the mist-shrouded forest in watercolor hues, transforming ordinary trees into spectral sentinels. Dew glistened on leaves like scattered diamonds, catching the first golden rays that managed to pierce the omnipresent fog. In this ethereal setting, Naruto sat cross-legged in a small clearing, eyes closed in concentration as Enki's imposing form towered before him. The Phoenix hierarchy is ancient and immutable. Enki's voice resonated directly in Naruto's mind, each word accompanied by a subtle pulse of golden flame. "Understanding it will determine which allies you can call upon, and when." Naruto nodded, unusually attentive. The weight of tomorrow's inevitable confrontation with Zabuza had stripped away his typical impatience. "I'm ready, Enki-sama." The great phoenix's feathers rippled with pleased surprise at the honorific. His wings extended, conjuring images in the air, living illustrations formed of dancing flame. At the foundation are the messenger phoenixes. Enki began as an image of Haku materialized above them. Small but swift, they excel at communication and reconnaissance. Their bond with the summoner allows shared vision across vast distances. The fiery image shifted, growing larger, taking on Hirya's familiar form. Above them are the companion phoenixes, personal partners who share their wisdom and provide constant support. Hiryu belongs to this category, though he shows potential for greater growth. Hiryu, perched on a nearby branch, preened at the acknowledgement. The illustration transformed again, expanding dramatically into a powerfully built phoenix with wings edged in blue flame. Warrior phoenixes like Akira command offensive fire techniques. They are the vanguard in battle, though they prefer precision strikes to overwhelming destruction. Another shift revealed a more delicate-looking phoenix whose plumage seemed to shimmer between gold and silver. Healer phoenixes possess the rarest gift, the ability to mend wounds and purify toxins through sacred flame. Their powers extend beyond physical healing to touch the spirit itself. The image expanded once more, taking Enki's own majestic form. Elder phoenixes serve as keepers of wisdom and guardians of tradition. We rarely engage in direct combat, but our flames can alter the very fabric of reality when necessary. Finally, the illustration transformed into something that took Naruto's breath away. A phoenix of impossible size and splendor, its plumage containing every color imaginable, yet somehow perfectly harmonized. At the apex stands the Phoenix King, Suzaku, Lord of Renewal. To summon him requires not just immense chakra, but perfect resonance between summoner and summon. Few in history have achieved this honor. The fiery images dissipated into golden sparks that swirled around Naruto before fading into the morning air. He opened his eyes, blinking as the real world reasserted itself. "So cool," he whispered, momentarily forgetting his usual brash demeanor. "Could I ever summon the Phoenix King?" Enki regarded him with ancient eyes that held galaxies of experience. "Perhaps. Your chakra reserves are extraordinary, and your spirit resonates strongly with our values. But such mastery lies far in your future, young summoner." Naruto nodded, surprisingly accepting of this reality check. "I'll work my way up, one phoenix at a time." A wise approach, Enki approved. "Now return to your team. They will need you fully present for today's duties." The bridge stretched before them like a promise half-kept, a massive concrete structure emerging from the mist, reaching toward the mainland but falling tantalizingly short of connection. Steel reinforcements jutted from unfinished sections like the skeleton of some gargantuan creature, waiting for flesh to complete its form. Team 7 moved in practice formation around Tazuna, their senses hyper-alert after yesterday's training. Workers called greetings to the old bridge builder, their tired faces showing equal parts determination and fear. The constant sound of hammers, drills, and shouted instructions created a symphony of human effort, a defiant counterpoint to Gato's oppression. "Impressive, isn't it?" Tazuna's voice carried the pride of a master craftsman. "Another week of work, and we'll be connected to the mainland. If we survive that long," Sasuke muttered, dark eyes scanning the mist for threats. Kakashi appeared relaxed, his nose buried in his ever-present orange book. But Naruto noticed how the Jonin's visible eye continuously flicked between potential approach vectors. Nothing escaped his attention, despite the carefully cultivated appearance of indifference. "Naruto," Kakashi called without looking up from his book, "create some shadow clones to help with construction. The faster this bridge is completed, the sooner our mission ends." "On it." Naruto formed his signature cross seal. Shadow clone jutsu. A dozen identical Narutos popped into existence, each sporting the same confident grin. The workers stared in astonishment as the orange-clad army distributed itself among them, following directions and hauling materials with infectious enthusiasm. One older worker shook his head in wonder. "In all my years, I've never seen anything like this. With this kind of help, we might finish ahead of schedule." "That's the idea," the original Naruto replied, flashing a thumbs up. Throughout the morning, the bridge steadily extended its reach through the mist. Naruto's clones proved surprisingly capable laborers, their boundless energy compensating for their lack of technical expertise. Sakura assisted with measurements and calculations, her precise mind perfectly suited to the task. Even Sasuke contributed, his sharp eyes detecting flaws in materials before they could be incorporated into the structure. During a brief lunch break, Sasuke found himself standing beside Naruto at the bridge's edge, gazing into the churning water below. With Kakashi engaged in conversation with Tazuna and Sakura helping distribute lunches to the workers, they had a moment of relative privacy. "Your little friend still with you?" Sasuke asked in a low voice, his eyes fixed straight ahead. Naruto's hand moved subtly to his jacket, where Hiryu's warmth pressed against his chest. "Yeah. Always." Sasuke nodded almost imperceptibly. I spotted sabotage attempts earlier. Cut support cables, weakened structural joints. Someone's been here. Gato's men? Probably. But they're gone now. Sasuke finally turned to face him, obsidian eyes intense. You've been whispering to your jacket all morning. Something I should know? Naruto glanced around to ensure they wouldn't be overheard. Hiryu senses something off about this place. Not immediate danger, but like echoes of chakra usage. Recent. The fake hunter Nin, Sasuke concluded. Reconnaissance. Yeah. A moment of silence stretched between them, not uncomfortable but charged with unspoken understanding. They were rivals still, but something had shifted, mutual respect emerging from the competitive soil of their relationship. Your abilities, Sasuke finally said, the words clearly difficult for him, they could give us an edge tomorrow. We should coordinate. Coming from Sasuke, this was practically a declaration of brotherhood. Naruto fought to keep the grin off his face, knowing it would shatter the moment. Tonight, he promised. After everyone's asleep, Sasuke gave a curt nod, then returned to his position without another word. But something had changed between them, a foundation laid for a partnership that might transcend their rivalry. Sunset transformed the mist into a veil of fire, orange and crimson light fracturing through suspended moisture to create a dreamlike haze. Most of the bridge workers had departed, leaving only Tazuna to make final inspections before they returned to his home. Another day without incident, Kakashi observed, his casual tone belied by the slight tension in his shoulders. Either we've been granted a reprieve, or Zabuza is more patient than I remember. Or he's watching us right now, Naruto muttered, uncomfortably aware of Hiryu's increasing agitation throughout the afternoon. There are traces everywhere, the phoenix had whispered periodically. Chakra signatures. Fading but recent. Someone with ice-natured energy has been here repeatedly. The journey back to Tazuna's house proceeded in watchful silence. Even Naruto, typically immune to atmospheric tension, felt the weight of impending confrontation. It sat heavy on his shoulders, a physical presence that compressed his usual exuberance into tightly coiled readiness. After dinner, while Tsunami cleared dishes and Kakashi discussed final defense preparations with Tazuna, Naruto slipped outside. The night air carried a briny tang, cool against his face as he made his way toward the village cemetery. He found Inari already there, a small figure silhouetted against the gathering darkness, standing before a simple wooden marker. The boy didn't seem surprised when Naruto appeared beside him, as though he'd been expecting this visit. This is him? Naruto asked softly, gesturing toward the grave. Inari nodded, his young face solemn in the fading light. Kaiza. He wasn't my real father, but family isn't about blood, Naruto finished for him. It's about bonds. They stood in companionable silence, the gentle lapping of waves against the shoreline providing a soothing rhythm to their thoughts. Wind whispered through the grass surrounding the modest grave markers, carrying the scent of salt and distant rain. He used to say that if something is precious to you, you should protect it with both arms. Inari finally spoke, his voice small but steady. Even if it costs your life. Naruto knelt, placing a wildflower he picked along the way before Kaiza's marker. Sounds like a real hero. Gato made everyone watch, Inari continued, the words tumbling out as if a dam had broken. He tied Kaiza to a post in the village square, said this is what happens to people who stand against him. His small hands clenched into fists. No one helped him. Not even me. You were a kid, Naruto said gently. Still are. I was a coward. Inari's voice cracked with self-recrimination. I should have done something, anything, and died with him? Naruto shook his head. What good would that have done? At least he wouldn't have died alone, Inari whispered, tears glinting in the moonlight. Naruto placed a hand on the boy's shoulder, surprised at how small and fragile it felt beneath his palm. Your dad died protecting what he loved, this village, your family, the future. The real way to honor him isn't by dying, but by living for those same things. How can I fight someone like Gato? I don't have special powers like you. Being a hero isn't about having powers. Naruto's eyes grew distant, reflecting on his own journey. It's about standing up when everyone else stays sitting, about believing things can change when everyone else has given up. Hiryu shifted inside Naruto's jacket, a warm presence against his heart. The phoenix remained hidden but sent a pulse of approving energy that strengthened Naruto's conviction. I'm scared all the time, Naruto admitted with unexpected honesty. But I've learned that courage isn't about not feeling fear. It's about feeling it and moving forward anyway. Inari looked up at him, genuine surprise in his tear-stained face. You're scared? But you always seem so confident. Naruto laughed, the sound bright in the somber setting. That's just my way of facing it. Find your own way, Inari. But whatever you do, don't let fear make your choices for you. As they walked back toward the house, silhouetted against the rising moon, something shifted in Inari's posture, a straightening of small shoulders, a lifting of his chin. Not transformation, but the first hint of awakening courage. Naruto? The boy asked as the lights of home came into view. Would my dad have liked you, do you think? Naruto grinned, ruffling Inari's hair. Are you kidding? He would have thought I was awesome. For the first time since their arrival, Inari smiled, a small, tentative expression, but genuine. Like the first green shoot after a devastating fire, it promised renewal. Moonlight silvered the forest clearing, transforming ordinary trees into towering sentinels of shadow and light. Naruto sat cross-legged across from Enki, Hiryu perched attentively between them. The great phoenix's feathers gleamed with internal fire, casting golden illumination that pushed back the night. You progress quickly for one so young, Enki observed, his ancient eyes assessing every aspect of Naruto's being. Your chakra grows more harmonized with each passing day. Thanks, Naruto beamed, pride warming his chest. I've been practicing everything you and Hiryu have taught me. There is another technique I must mention, Enki said, his tone becoming solemn. Though it lies far beyond your current capabilities. Immediately, Naruto leaned forward, eyes shining with excitement. What is it? Some super powerful fire jutsu? A transformation technique? Something that makes me fly? Enki made that musical sound that constituted Phoenix laughter. Always eager for the next challenge. Very well, I speak of Phoenix Sage Mode. Sage Mode? Naruto's brow furrowed. Like the legendary Sannin Jiraiya uses? Similar in concept, yet fundamentally different, Enki explained. His wings extended, conjuring images of fire that danced before them. Traditional Sage Mode draws natural energy from the environment, blending it with the user's physical and spiritual energies. The fiery illustration showed a human figure absorbing energy from surrounding nature. Phoenix Sage Mode, however, channels the spiritual energy of rebirth and renewal, Enki continued. The image shifted to show a human silhouette surrounded by phoenix-shaped flames. It temporarily transforms the user, granting enhanced senses, accelerated healing, and the ability to perceive the world as we phoenixes do, as patterns of life force and intention rather than mere physical forms. Naruto watched, transfixed, as the fiery human figure in the illustration performed impossible feats, passing unharmed through flames, sensing enemies through solid barriers, healing grievous wounds with a touch. That's amazing, he breathed, already imagining himself wielding such power. How do I learn it? You don't, at least, not yet, Enki cautioned. Phoenix Sage Mode requires years of training and perfect harmony with Phoenix Chakra. Attempting it prematurely would risk not just failure, but self-immolation. But someday? Naruto pressed undeterred. Enki studied him, head tilted in that bird-like manner that suggested deep contemplation. You possess the potential, certainly. Your chakra reserves are exceptional, and your spirit resonates strongly with Phoenix values. With diligent training, perhaps in several years, most genin would have been disappointed by such a distant timeline, but Naruto merely nodded, determination hardening in his blue eyes. Then I'll start working toward it now. Every technique I master, every battle I survive, they're all steps on that path. Wisely said, Enki approved. The journey matters as much as the destination. The elder phoenix rose to his full height, an impressive sight that filled the clearing with his presence. For tonight, let us focus on expanding your current abilities. I've observed you experimenting with combining shadow clones and phoenix techniques. Naruto jumped to his feet, eager to demonstrate. Watch this. He formed the cross seal, summoning a dozen shadow clones that filled the clearing with identical grins. Then, with Hiryu's subtle guidance, he channeled Phoenix Chakra through the connection binding him to his duplicates. Phoenix Clone Jutsu, he announced proudly. To the untrained eye, the clones appeared unchanged, the same orange-clad, whisker-cheeked boys. But Enki saw deeper, his ancient vision perceiving the golden energy now threaded through their typically blue chakra patterns. Show him, Naruto commanded his creations. One clone stepped forward, deliberately dispelling itself. Instead of the usual puff of smoke, it dissolved into harmless golden flames that swirled briefly before flowing back into the original Naruto. Immediately, a small cut on his hand, sustained during bridge construction, sealed itself, the skin knitting together without a scar. The Phoenix clones carry healing properties, Naruto explained unnecessarily, practically bouncing with excitement. When they dispel, they transfer not just memories like regular shadow clones, but also healing energy and a chakra boost. Enki's eyes gleamed with approval. Creative application. You've integrated our techniques with your own strengths rather than simply mimicking traditional Phoenix methods. Another clone stepped forward, performing a series of hand seals. Phoenix Flower Shuriken Jutsu, tiny flame projectiles, similar to the Uchiha technique but infused with golden Phoenix energy, shot from the clone's mouth, weaving through the air with uncanny precision to strike a series of leaves the clone had previously marked as targets. Unlike normal fire that would simply burn, these flames pierced the leaves with pinpoint accuracy, leaving perfectly circular holes before extinguishing themselves. Akira taught me the base technique, Naruto explained, but I modified it to focus on precision over power. Great for disabling rather than killing. You understand the Phoenix way better than I anticipated, Enki observed. Power tempered by restraint, strength directed by wisdom. The remaining clones demonstrated various combinations, Phoenix Chakra enhancing their physical capabilities, flame techniques modified for tactical applications rather than raw destruction, healing methods integrated into combat maneuvers. As the demonstration concluded, Enki's expression grew serious. Tomorrow we'll test both your skills and your judgment, young summoner. Remember that Phoenixes value transformation over destruction. The greatest victory often lies not in defeating an enemy, but in changing the conditions that made them your enemy. Naruto's exuberance faded, replaced by thoughtful solemnity. You mean Zabuza and his partner. They are weapons wielded by Gato's hand, Enki confirmed. Ask yourself, is it the weapon that bears responsibility, or the one who wields it? The question hung in the air, unanswered but deeply felt. As Enki prepared to depart, he fixed Naruto with a final, penetrating gaze. Sleep well, Naruto Uzumaki. Dawn brings your trial by fire. The next morning found Team 7 gathered around Tazuna's table, the atmosphere charged with pre-battle tension. Kakashi stood at the window, his visible eye scanning the mist-shrouded landscape with deceptive casualness. Sasuke methodically checked his equipment, dark eyes focused and distant. Sakura alternated between nervous glances at her teammates and determined adjustments to her own gear. Naruto sat quietly, an unusual state for the typically boisterous genin. Hiryu's warm presence inside his jacket provided silent comfort, a reminder that he faced the coming battle with allies beyond those visible to his teammates. Today's the day, Kakashi announced without preamble, turning from the window. Zabuza will have recovered by now. He'll make his move, likely at the bridge where the terrain favors his water techniques. We'll be ready, Sasuke stated, voice flat but confident. Kakashi's eye crinkled in what might have been a smile. Indeed. But first, a question for each of you. He turned to Sakura. Why do we fight? She blinked, surprised by the philosophical query before a potentially deadly encounter. To complete our mission. To protect Tazuna-san. Kakashi nodded, then looked to Sasuke. And you? To eliminate threats, the Uchiha replied without hesitation. To become stronger. Naruto? Naruto looked up, blue eyes unusually contemplative. To protect what matters. To change things for the better. Something in Kakashi's posture shifted, a subtle relaxation, as though the answers had confirmed something important. All valid perspectives. Remember them when battle begins and instinct threatens to override reason. He straightened, commander rather than teacher now. Our primary objective remains protecting Tazuna until the bridge is complete. Secondary objective, neutralize Zabuza and his accomplice, preferably without casualties on either side, though we must be prepared for lethal force. Naruto's head snapped up. You mean we might not have to kill them? If circumstances permit capture rather than elimination, we'll choose the former, Kakashi clarified. But don't mistake professional preference for mercy, Naruto. We'll do what's necessary. The subtle warning hung in the air as they finished preparations and escorted Tazuna toward the bridge. Mist clung to the ground in thick tendrils, seemingly reluctant to release its hold on the island even as the sun climbed higher. Birds had fallen silent, and the usual sounds of village life seemed muffled, as though the entire island held its breath in anticipation. Leave me one shadow clone, Kakashi instructed Naruto as they approached the bridge entrance. To protect Tsunami and Inari, just in case. Naruto nodded, creating a duplicate that remained behind as the rest of the team proceeded forward. The mist thickened with each step, visibility decreasing until they could barely see 10 feet ahead. Then the screams began. They rushed forward to find bridge workers collapsed across the construction site, some bleeding from shallow wounds, others simply unconscious. No fatalities, Naruto noted with grim relief. Whoever had done this had shown restraint. This is too familiar, Kakashi muttered, scanning the impenetrable fog that now completely enveloped the bridge. A low, rumbling chuckle seemed to come from everywhere at once, bouncing off the mist in disorienting echoes. Miss me, Kakashi? I've been looking forward to our rematch. Team 7 instantly formed a protective triangle around Tazuna, backs to their client, faces to the swirling mist. Kakashi raised his headband, revealing his Sharingan eye that gleamed crimson through the whiteness. Zabuza, he acknowledged calmly. Fully recovered, I see, and wiser from our last encounter. The disembodied voice shifted location with each word. No water prison this time. Just the clean efficiency of silent killing. The mist parted briefly to reveal Zabuza standing 30 feet away, his massive sword resting casually across his shoulders. Beside him stood the masked figure they'd encountered before, slender, elegant, emanating a cold chakra signature that raised goosebumps on Naruto's arms. Let me introduce my young apprentice properly. Zabuza gestured to the masked ninja. Haku possesses a Kekkei Genkai that makes your Sharingan look like a child's toy. A bloodline limit, Kakashi murmured, tension radiating through his seemingly relaxed posture. Zabuza's bandaged face creased in what might have been a smile. Enough talk. Haku, take the brats. Kakashi is mine. Yes, Zabuza-sama. The masked ninja's voice was soft, almost gentle, incongruous with the deadly purpose radiating from their stance. Like triggered explosions, both sides burst into motion simultaneously. Kakashi and Zabuza vanished into the mist, the clash of kunai against massive sword ringing across the bridge. Haku shot toward the genin with blinding speed, Senbon needles glinting between each finger. Protect Tazuna! Sasuke shouted, intercepting Haku with a kunai. Metal struck metal in a shower of sparks as the two engaged in taijutsu so fast it blurred. Despite the mask hiding their expression, Haku seemed surprised by Sasuke's speed. You're quick, the masked ninja observed. But, without releasing the kunai deadlock, Haku began forming one-handed seals with their free hand, a feat Naruto hadn't thought possible. Secret jutsu, 1,000 needles of death. Water from puddles on the bridge rose, transforming into ice Senbon that hovered menacingly in the air before shooting towards Sasuke from all directions. The Uchiha's eyes widened fractionally, then he vanished, moving with newfound speed that left Naruto gaping in astonishment. Sasuke reappeared above Haku, shuriken flying from his fingers. I'm quicker. Haku dodged, but Sasuke anticipated the movement, landing a solid kick that sent the masked ninja skidding across the concrete surface of the bridge. Naruto, Sakura. Maintain formation around Tazuna. Sasuke called without taking his eyes off his opponent. I've got this. Haku rose slowly, mask still perfectly in place despite the powerful blow. I'm impressed. But I cannot fail Zabuza-sama. The temperature dropped precipitously, frost spreading across the bridge surface in crystalline patterns. Haku's hands blurred through seals, chakra spiking to levels that made Naruto's breath catch. Secret jutsu, crystal ice mirrors. Water particles in the mist condensed, hardened, transformed, creating a dome of ice mirrors that surrounded Sasuke. Each reflective surface showed Haku's image, perfect replications that moved in synchronization. What the? Sasuke's exclamation cut short as Senbon flew from every mirror simultaneously, moving too fast to dodge completely. Inside Naruto's jacket, Hiryu trembled with agitation. Ice techniques. This is the chakra signature I've been sensing. Powerful, ancient bloodline. Sasuke needs help, Naruto muttered, watching his teammate fend off the impossible barrage with increasingly desperate movements. Sakura gripped his arm. Kakashi-sensei said to maintain formation, and leave him to die. Naruto wrenched free. Shadow clone jutsu. A dozen clones appeared, surrounding Tazuna. These guys will protect you both. I'm going in. Before Sakura could protest further, Naruto dashed toward the ice dome. Inside, Sasuke was already bleeding from multiple Senbon strikes, though his movements were becoming more precise, his eyes tracking the attacks with growing accuracy. Sasuke! Naruto shouted. I'll attack from outside while you, idiot! Don't come in here! Sasuke's warning came too late. Naruto had already slipped between two ice mirrors, entering the deadly dome. Haku's masked face turned toward him from every direction. Foolish, the soft voice echoed from all mirrors simultaneously. Now you'll both die. Sasuke shot Naruto a glare that could have melted steel. Great plan, Dobe. Now we're both trapped. Hey, I was trying to help team. Naruto fired back, their familiar bickering emerging even in life-threatening circumstances. 2 against 1, Sasuke muttered, shifting to stand back-to-back with Naruto. Maybe not so stupid after all. A rain of Senbon descended upon them, forcing both boys to move with every ounce of speed and agility they possessed. Even so, needles found their marks, piercing shoulders, thighs, arms. Not lethal placements, Naruto noted through the pain. Disabling rather than killing. He's moving between the mirrors physically, Sasuke hissed during a momentary lull. My eyes are starting to track it. Naruto glanced at his teammate, startled to see Sasuke's irises had transformed. Black giving way to red, a single tomo spinning in each eye. Your Sharingan, not fully formed yet, Sasuke acknowledged tersely. But developing. Now, Hiryu's voice urged in Naruto's mind. Use fire against ice. Naruto nodded imperceptibly, hands forming seals beneath the cover of his jacket. Hey Sasuke, he whispered. Remember our talk last night? Time to try that combination. Understanding flashed across the Uchiha's face. He nodded once, sharply. Fire style. Great fireball jutsu. Sasuke's hands flashed through seals, cheeks bulging before he expelled a massive sphere of flame toward one of the ice mirrors. Simultaneously, Naruto completed his own technique. Phoenix Flower Enhancement. Golden chakra flowed from Naruto into Sasuke's fire, transforming the orange-red flames to brilliant gold shot through with blue. The enhanced fireball struck an ice mirror, and melted through it completely, creating an exit in the previously impenetrable dome. Haku's masked face turned toward them, the first hint of concern visible in their posture. Impossible. No fire technique should be able to melt those mirrors. We're just full of surprises, Naruto grinned, despite the Senban protruding from his shoulder. Sasuke, again! They repeated the combination, destroying a second mirror. Haku moved with increasing desperation, Senban flying with deadly precision. Several struck Naruto in the leg, sending him crashing to one knee with a cry of pain. Naruto! Sasuke moved to cover him, taking Senban meant for his teammate. I'm fine, Naruto gritted, struggling back to his feet. Let's finish this. Haku's voice floated around them, strangely regretful. Your friendship makes you strong. But it also makes you vulnerable. The masked ninja disappeared from the mirrors, reappearing in a blur of movement directly between the two genin. Senban flashed, too close and too fast to avoid. Time seemed to slow for Naruto, as he watched the deadly needles arc toward a vital point on his neck. Death approached in gleaming silver, until Sasuke's body suddenly filled his vision, intercepting the attack. The Uchiha staggered, body bristling with Senban like a macabre pincushion. Blood trickled from the corner of his mouth as he looked back at Naruto, his newly awakened Sharingan fading back to obsidian. Why? Naruto whispered, catching his rival as Sasuke collapsed against him. My body moved on its own, Sasuke managed, voice fading. I hated you, you know. Don't talk like you're dying, team. Naruto's voice cracked with emotion. My brother. I swore to kill him, but now. Sasuke's eyes glazed over. Don't let your dream die too, Naruto. His body went limp in Naruto's arms. Something broke inside Naruto, a dam holding back emotions too powerful for his young heart to process. Grief, rage, disbelief swirled together into a vortex that tore through his consciousness. Deep within, he felt the Nine Tails stir, its malevolent chakra rising like toxic smoke through his system. Naruto! Hiryu's voice cut through the emotional maelstrom. He's not dead. The hunter uses precision techniques. These are the same death-simulating Senban used on Zabuza. The information registered dimly through Naruto's rage. Not dead? But the pain remained, the fury at seeing his friend, yes, friend, sacrifice himself. I'll kill you, he growled, chakra visibly manifesting around him in crimson waves. Control. Hiryu urged desperately. Remember your training. Channel, don't surrender. With monumental effort, Naruto dragged his consciousness back from the brink. The Nine Tails chakra continued to pour forth, but instead of drowning in it, he directed it, threading Phoenix energy through the corrosive power, transforming rage into focused determination. The chakra surrounding him shifted from blood red to a fierce orange gold, no longer burning the bridge surface but hovering around him like a second skin. Most remarkably, fiery wings began to manifest from his back, not fully formed, but distinct enough to be recognizable. Haku stepped back, masked face tilted in confusion. What are you? Naruto rose, cradling Sasuke's body gently before setting him down. When he straightened, his eyes had transformed, vertical fox pupils surrounded by phoenix gold rather than demon red. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, he stated, voice resonating with dual energy. And you hurt my friend. He moved, faster than he'd ever moved before, the fox's raw power tempered and directed by phoenix influence. Haku barely managed to retreat into a mirror, but Naruto's enhanced senses tracked the subtle distortion in the ice as the ninja traveled between reflective surfaces. His fist connected with a mirror just as Haku emerged, shattering ice and mask simultaneously. They both tumbled to the bridge's surface, rolling apart to face each other once more. With the mask gone, Naruto found himself staring at a face of androgynous beauty, large brown eyes filled not with hatred but with resignation, delicate features framed by long black hair. "You're from the forest," Naruto realized, recognizing the person who had been gathering herbs days earlier. "Yes," Haku confirmed softly. "I didn't lie about gathering medicine for a precious person. Zabuza needed healing. Why fight for someone like him?" Naruto demanded, the fiery wings on his back flaring with his emotion. "Because he gave me purpose when the world saw me as nothing but a monster to be destroyed." Haku's eyes held no anger, only a deep sadness. "Those with Kekkei Genkai were hunted in my homeland after the war. My own father killed my mother when he discovered our bloodline. He tried to kill me too." The story pierced Naruto's fury like a lance through armor. Memories of his own childhood, the cold stares, the whispered monster as he passed, flashed vividly in his mind. "Zabuza found me, a broken child with nothing. He looked at my cursed blood and called it a gift." Haku's voice softened with genuine devotion. "He gave me purpose, to be his weapon, his tool." "A tool?" Naruto's enhanced chakra flickered with confusion. "You're a person, not a weapon. In this world, shinobi are merely tools for their villages, for their masters." Haku struggled to rise, determination overriding injury. "I've failed as Zabuza's tool. I couldn't defeat you. I no longer have purpose." Understanding dawned in Naruto's transformed eyes. "So you want me to kill you?" "Yes." Haku stood straight, presenting an undefended target. "Without usefulness to Zabuza-sama, I have no reason to exist." The Nine Tails chakra surged within Naruto, urging destruction. But the phoenix energy intertwined with it pulsed with a different imperative. Transformation rather than annihilation. "No," Naruto stated, the fiery wings beginning to recede as he gained fuller control of the dual chakra. "I won't kill you." Surprise flickered across Haku's face. "Why?" "Because there's more to life than being someone's tool." Naruto took a step forward, eyes fading back to their natural blue as his chakra stabilized. "There's friendship. There's helping others. There's finding your own dream instead of living for someone else's." For a moment, something like longing crossed Haku's features, quickly replaced by alarm as they sensed a disturbance in the mist. "Zabuza-sama is in danger," they whispered, hands already forming seals. Before Naruto could react, Haku disappeared in a swirl of ice crystals, rushing toward the obscured battle between their masters. "Wait!" Naruto called, dashing after them through the thinning mist. The scene that materialized before him froze Naruto in his tracks. Kakashi stood with arm extended, hand wreathed in crackling lightning that illuminated the fog with eerie blue light. The sound of chirping birds filled the air as the Jonin prepared to deliver a killing blow to Zabuza, who was immobilized by ninja hounds that had materialized from summoning scrolls. Lightning blade. Kakashi charged forward, his deadly technique aimed at Zabuza's heart. Haku appeared in a blur of movement, stepping directly into the attack's path to shield their master. Kakashi's eyes widened in horror, but momentum made alteration impossible. "No!" Naruto screamed, Phoenix chakra flaring instinctively. Time seemed to slow once more. In that fractional moment, Naruto felt he emerged more completely with his chakra than ever before. Golden energy exploded outward, his hands forming seals he'd never consciously learned. Phoenix art. Temporal flame. Fire erupted between Kakashi and Haku, not destructive but distortive, bending space itself for a crucial split second. Kakashi's lightning blade pierced the flame, and emerged inches to the left of Haku's heart, tearing through shoulder muscle rather than vital organs. Blood sprayed across the bridge. Haku collapsed. Zabuza stared in shock. Kakashi froze, Sharingan eye wide with disbelief at the technique that had partially redirected his perfect assassination jutsu. Into this tableau of suspended violence walked a short figure flanked by dozens of armed mercenaries. His expensive suit and walking cane contrasted sharply with his cruel eyes and a smirk distorting his features. Well, well, Gato drawled, tapping his cane against the bridge. The so-called demon of the mist, brought low by children. How disappointing. Zabuza's eyes narrowed dangerously despite his immobilized state. Gato. You're not supposed to be here. Change of plans, the shipping magnate shrugged. Why pay for expensive ninja when I can just eliminate everyone at once? More cost-effective. Understanding dawned on Zabuza's bandaged face. You never intended to pay us. Business, my dear demon. Gato gestured to his small army of mercenaries. Nothing personal. He walked forward, stopping beside Haku's bleeding form. With deliberate cruelty, he nudged the injured ninja with his foot. This one broke my arm. I owe it some pain before we finish the job. Naruto's vision tunneled, focused entirely on Gato's foot pressed against Haku's wounded body. Something primal rose within him, not the Ninetales' rage, but his own human fury at witnessing such callous cruelty. "Get away from them," he growled, the air around him shimmering with heat. "Another brat playing ninja?" Gato laughed, completely misreading the danger. "Save your energy, kid. You're all dead anyway." Kakashi moved to Naruto's side, his earlier confusion replaced by tactical assessment. 6 against 40+ mercenaries, he murmured. "Not ideal odds, even for me." 7, Zabuza corrected, somehow shrugging off the ninja hounds to stand upright. Blood streamed from numerous wounds, but his eyes burned with murderous intent. "Release me from our contract, Kakashi. My quarrel is with Gato now." Before Kakashi could respond, the sound of running feet echoed from the village end of the bridge. Naruto turned to see his shadow clone leading a most unexpected army. The villagers themselves, armed with fishing spears, hammers, kitchen knives, and tools of all descriptions. At their head ran Inari, carrying a small crossbow with fierce determination etched on his young face. "The island is under our protection," the boy shouted, his voice cracking but unwavering. Behind this civilian militia stood a solitary figure that made Naruto's heart leap. Sasuke, wobbling on his feet but very much alive, supported by Sakura. Gato's confidence faltered visibly. "What is this? Kill them all!" He ordered his mercenaries, backing away toward the unfinished end of the bridge. The mercenaries hesitated, assessing the odds. What had seemed an easy slaughter now looked considerably more challenging. Ninja and civilians united against them. Zabuza turned to Naruto, eyes narrowed in calculation. "You, the one with the strange chakra. You protected Haku." Naruto met his gaze steadily. "I did." "Why?" "Because people aren't tools to be broken and discarded." Naruto glanced at Haku's unconscious form. "Because everyone deserves a chance at something better than just being a weapon." Something shifted in Zabuza's eyes, not softening, exactly, but a complexity emerging where only deadly purpose had existed before. "Lend me a kunai," he requested, extending a hand toward Naruto. Without hesitation, Naruto placed the weapon in the missing Nin's palm. Their eyes met in silent understanding before Zabuza turned toward Gato and his mercenaries. What followed would be whispered about in the land of waves for generations to come. Zabuza, arms hanging uselessly at his sides from Kakashi's attacks, took the kunai in his mouth and charged straight into the mercenary ranks. Moving like his namesake demon, he cut a bloody swath toward Gato, impervious to the weapons that found their mark in his already wounded body. Kakashi held up a hand, preventing Team 7 from joining the slaughter. This is his fight now. Gato's expression transformed from arrogant disdain to terror as Zabuza approached, unstoppable despite the injuries that would have killed any ordinary man thrice over. The shipping magnate backed toward the bridge's unfinished edge, blubbering promises and bribes that fell on deaf ears. "This is for Haku," Zabuza growled around the kunai as he reached his target. With a final surge of demonic strength, he drove the blade deep into Gato's chest, the momentum carrying them both dangerously close to the bridge's end. Gato toppled backward, plummeting toward the churning water below. Zabuza remained standing at the edge, swaying, blood pooling beneath his feet as his life ebbed away. The remaining mercenaries, witnessing their employer's death, broke ranks and fled. The villagers cheered, an explosion of pent-up emotion after years of oppression. Naruto ran to Zabuza's side as the missing Nin finally collapsed. "Hang on! We can get help." Zabuza's laugh was wet with blood. "No helping this, kid. Take me to Haku. Let me see, one last time." With Kakashi's assistance, they carried Zabuza to where Haku lay. Sakura had already begun administering first aid to the ice user, her determined expression suggesting that her patient would survive despite the grievous wound. "Still alive," Zabuza observed as he was propped up beside his apprentice. "Good. You're too talented to die for an old demon like me." Snow began to fall, an impossibility in this climate, yet undeniable as white flakes drifted from a clear sky to settle on the blood-stained bridge. "Is it snowing?" Zabuza whispered, glancing upward with fading vision. "Haku's doing, perhaps," Kakashi suggested quietly. Even unconscious, their chakra responds to emotion. Zabuza's bandaged face creased in what might have been a smile. "Always was special." He turned his head with monumental effort to look directly at Naruto. "You boy. Your eyes, they see things differently. Things I was too blind to see." Naruto knelt beside the dying ninja, unsure what to say. "Promise me something," Zabuza continued, voice barely audible now. "Look after Haku. Show them that there's more to life than being a tool. That they can be a person." Tears pricked at Naruto's eyes. "I promise." "Good," Zabuza sighed. With his last strength, he reached out to touch Haku's face with bloody fingertips. "You know, kid, I think in another life, I could have been like your sensei. And Haku could have been like you. His hand fell away. The demon of the mist breathed his last, face turned toward his apprentice, snowflakes melting on his still warm skin. Naruto felt Hiryu stir against his chest, the phoenix's voice gentle in his mind. Not all victories taste sweet, young summoner, but you've honored our ways today, seeking transformation over destruction, even in battle's heart. The snow continued to fall, nature itself seeming to mourn the complex man who had lived and died by his own brutal code. In death, Zabuza's face appeared younger, the lines of cruelty smoothed away to reveal the human beneath the demon. Kakashi placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder. You did well today. All of you. His gaze encompassed Sasuke and Sakura as well. This isn't how I expected the mission to end, but sometimes the best victories are the ones that change hearts rather than stop them. As if to punctuate his words, Inari appeared at Naruto's side, small face solemn beneath his striped hat. Is it over? The boy asked quietly. Is Gato really gone? Naruto nodded, wiping away tears. Yeah. Your country is free now. Inari's gaze fell on Zabuza's body, then shifted to Haku's unconscious form. His expression revealed wisdom beyond his years as he processed the complex reality of violence and sacrifice. My dad used to say that when a person dies, they live on in the hearts of those who remembered them, Inari said softly. Do you think anyone will remember him as something other than a demon? Naruto looked at Haku, whose breathing had stabilized under Sakura's care. Yeah, I think someone will. The villagers gathered around them, faces upturned to the miraculous snow, weapons lowered but not discarded. One by one, they approached Tazuna, offering hands, words of gratitude, commitments to complete what they had started together. The bridge, Tazuna announced, voice thick with emotion, will be finished within the week. And I know what we'll call it. He looked directly at Naruto, eyes crinkling with the first genuine smile they'd seen from him. The Great Naruto Bridge. Named for the one who brought courage back to our land. Embarrassment flooded Naruto's face. Me? But I didn't. You showed us that there's always another way, Tazuna insisted. That even the most feared demon can die with humanity. That a child considered worthless can rise to become a hero. The old bridge builder looked out over his people, standing tall for the first time since Team 7 had met him. Those are lessons worth building on. As the snow continued its gentle descent, Naruto felt something shift within him. Not just the fox and phoenix chakras finding greater harmony, but his own understanding of what it meant to be a ninja, to hold power, to face enemies who were not so different from himself. The Great Naruto Bridge would connect the Land of Waves to the mainland, but the connections formed on this day, between enemies, between friends, between the human heart and its highest potential, would extend far beyond concrete and steel. This, Hiryu's voice whispered in his mind, is what it means to be a phoenix summoner. Not just wielding fire, but kindling transformation where others see only destruction. Naruto placed a hand over his jacket, feeling the phoenix's warmth against his palm. I'm starting to understand, he murmured, watching as Kakashi gently closed Zabuza's eyes for the final time. This is my ninja way.